Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. We see you guys. Nova Clips, welcome in. Bellow Legends, welcome in. Give us a second. We gonna transition shortly. We got y'all.
Oh, I just realized something, Cash.
What?
So this whole time, I would go to mute myself. This explains everything. Remember last week when I sneezed and somebody said bless you, and I was like, wait, I thought I muted myself?
Yeah.
Because I mute the video ninja, but we're talking on Discord.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. Good thing I never ripped the fart.
You said that in the chat, too, and that was funny as hell. That's actually funny as hell.
Crazy. Imagine thinking you're muted and no one can hear you. Weeks later, you find out that people have been hearing you this whole time.
You crack a wild one.
Oh, I'd probably retire from streaming at that point.
I mean, it's gonna live on the internet, bro. It's not going anywhere.
That's crazy.
You just gotta embrace it. That's the only way I feel like you can get past any kind of like shit like that. You just embrace it. Damn, son. Yeah, I mean, y'all got me, man.
You'd be like, yo, let's clip farm this, bro. We can do something with
Oh,
this.
fuck yeah.
Bro.
Streamer. Bro, I would make that clips my damn self. Streamer farts on stream. All right. We're ready. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hardest, where you at? I'm alone here.
We switched.
Yes, I said we going in. That's what I said. That's what I said. Chat, welcome in. Welcome in, guys. Now, before we do anything, let's just do this the proper way of, starting this podcast, just kicking it off. First of all, Hardest, how you doing? Vibing. Yeah, I'm chilling right now too. I'm gonna lie. Today was kind of pretty smooth. I didn't do much today. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't do really nothing crazy today.
I love that.
What about this week?
You just released your video?
Yes, I released a video yesterday. Why does it feel like I released it on Friday? No, I dropped a video yesterday. So guys, if you haven't already, go check that video. I put a lot of work. That video took me a month to make. And it's not because I don't think it's because it was a difficult video. It's just, like I've been saying, my perfectionist brain was in overdrive and I was just experimenting with a bunch of different other shit as well. So, and I think people who watch my videos will be able to tell like where I was experimenting with stuff as well. Yeah, I mean, but overall, I think the video turned out pretty well. What?
Would you say you're leveling up with every video? Because that's how it feels for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So I've been experimenting with like cutaways, and I'm also in like the color page of DaVinci Resolve now.
I see you using the fusion section.
I'm using.
I knew we was leveling up.
Bro, I use Fusion now, and I mean like really use Fusion now, bro.
For those that don't know what Fusion is, in the video editing software that Cash and I use, there's a section. It's called the Fusion section. And it's where some of the most complex things in video editing goes down. It's a lot. It's a lot. So when I seen him using it, I was like, this man's using the fusion section?
Yeah, and I'm using it off of memory now. I don't have to like look at a video and do whatever anymore because I've gotten so used to using this thing. Yeah. So I'm leveling up, bro. Like real talk. I sub to the. Oh, let's go. Appreciate that, Nova. Appreciate that. Now, guys, before we get
Ooh,
into
very
anything
nice.
else, welcome to Gamer Actual, your weekly deep dive in the biggest news in gaming. You can find us on all major podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, with a visual version of this podcast being available on youtube.com at Gamer Actual, which are also currently live on. This podcast is also a part of the KXI network. To find out more about the KXI network and all our other shows and projects, check the show notes. Now, for tonight's episode, we'll be talking about the Nintendo vouchers and what's been happening with those. Uh, all things Ubisoft as well, and delays. We're going to be talking about a lot of games that were slated to release in 2025 that have now since been delayed. It's that and a lot more in tonight's episode. So let's get into it, actual gamers. I'm your host, Cash. And with me tonight, it's your homie, the Heartless. What's good, y'all? How y'all doing?
What is good, everybody?
Yeah, I'm getting so good at that shit. I don't have to look at
Bro,
like the
I,
podcast notes at all anymore.
like you had gotten like halfway through it, and I was like, this man, he hasn't made a single error. And then you kept going and go, and I was like, oh, I forgot how long this shit was. He still ain't mess up. What the hell?
Yeah,
I'm impressed. I
muscle
think
memory,
I
bro.
think it's that thing. What did you call it again? You looking at it right now?
The teleprompter. I'm actually. It's not on the teleprompter. It's not on the teleprompter. You're on my teleprompter right now. You and the
Oh,
chat.
so you've been staring at me this whole time?
This entire time. This entire
That's
time.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm staring at you and staring at the chat because the chat right next to you
On the teleprompter.
on the teleprompter. Yeah.
That's sick. So, chat, if you don't know, the reason why Cash looks great and every time he talks like he's looking at you, it's because he has a teleprompter that displays his chat. So he just looks, and when he's looking at his chat and talking, he is looking at you eye to eye. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that shit, bro.
That's what's
It
up.
feels like such a like level up. Now, I'm
I
not
love
saying
that.
you don't need it, but if you want to get it, trust me. There's a few things that I've been experimenting with the teleprompter too. Like if I'm recording, I now have a plugin that is on my teleprompter that tells me if I'm not being recorded properly. So if I didn't press the record button, it usually has like a red ring around
It's a
it
red
now.
outline. My camera
Yeah.
has that. So if you
Yeah.
don't see it, you know you're not getting a recording.
It doesn't
Love
come
that. I love that.
with it though. You have to set it up. I set that up now.
Okay, Lucius
So
Fox over here. This, yo, chat. I gotta tell you guys, like, I love Cash. He's my boy, but I also hate him. And there's some things I can't stand about Cash. Okay, one of the things I cannot stand about Cash, and it's funny because I'm kind of the same way, but
mm,
not to this extreme. One of the things I cannot stand about Cash is he thinks he's Inspector Gadget. I'm
no,
telling
I
you.
mean, bro, listen, I'm a tinkerer, bro. I like to tinker with shit.
Yo, that's a good way to put it. But any piece of technology, this man, he gets obsessed. He gets
Yes,
obsessed.
I need to know everything.
Yeah, so
I just
it's
have
good
to.
stuff. It's
Yeah,
good stuff. I love it. I love it.
yeah, bro. Like last night, I was struggling to figure out how to do push to talk with Helldivers with my foot pedal.
Man, what are we even doing here anymore? What are we even doing here anymore? This
Thank
man,
you, Shank. Stop hating.
you want to do push to talk with the foot pedal?
Yes, because when I'm playing and I have the controller in my hand, I don't want to have to stop to push the talk. I just step on the pedal, talk, release. I can talk to chat and not interrupt somebody else. That I don't have to talk somebody's ear off while I'm talking to chat. That's the whole
Chat, you know what I
idea.
mean? You see what I'm saying? Like he is cringe. He
It-
is cringe.
it's called
The
attention to detail.
attention to detail. It's called
Yes.
ADHD. Man,
Nah,
this
the
man
foot pedal is low
fixated.
key. Yes, it's optimal. Thank you, Shank. Listen, we got people in chat agreeing. This is what I'm talking about. That's what I like. People understand. Heartless is just a hater. That's all it is.
Yes, certified, certified. What you talking about?
Anyways, what are we gonna talk about today? What some games that came out this week?
You got it. So guys, we got 4 games here on the games releases this week, And the first one dropped on July 7th, about 6 days ago. DC worlds collide. DC comic characters confront a criminal syndicate that has invaded Earth. The squad can combine both superheroes and supervillains. It is important to get a unique synergy with powerful enhancements between battles. You need to train and improve your equipment. This release on Android and iOS. We're back to doing phone games, Cash.
No,
Okay.
but
Anyways,
hold up, wait. I'm gonna be honest though. This shit looks sick. It looks sick. Let me
are we
just
gonna
put it
put
up.
on the screen?
I'm gonna put it on the screen. This shit look kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
This looks cool as shit.
Pandora's box has been opened.
It looks like an animated movie,
Syndicate is now a global existential
but
threat.
that previous DC game that they dropped is bullshit. This is actually pretty cool. I like how this looks.
You think this is a slap harder than Suicide Squad Kill Justice League?
You're the one who mentioned it this time, just so you know. I'll put that out there. It looks good. Like, it looks good. It looks like a it's kind of like a turn your brain off. It's like a time kill kind of game. There's nothing to like really. You know what I mean?
I will say this. I will say this.
From the mystics of the dark.
There is
to the depths
nothing
of
holding
Atlantis
back mobile
and the
developers
alleys
from
of
making
Gotham
incredible
City.
real-time
Heroes,
strategy games
rogues, and
for mobile,
renegades.
right?
Right.
Like, there's not. I'm
All
sure there's some games you
depend on
simply
you.
cannot just make happen on a phone. Like, I can imagine like some of the newer, like you're not gonna see like playing Tekken 8 on a phone. No, but you can probably see some of the best real-time strategies also being successful on mobile.
So Shank said something very interesting in the chat. Yes, it does look like one of those the raid Shadow Legends games. But you want to hear something crazy about that? They make bank. So I think DC is catching on to that. Warner Brothers is catching on to that, and they're trying to get on that wave. They don't care if people are making fun of them. They're banking on their IP to sell this shit.
Facts. And
Mobile games sell. Mobile games sell.
They do. We've seen it for like 2 decades now. And then we've had the Angry Birds, the Temple Run. We've seen how like they can be a hot commodity. Nothing said if a phone has hardware limitations, and I agree. But that's what I'm saying though is that I think that real-time strategy games can kind of bypass hardware limitations. You can see look at a game like Balatro. And I know it's not a real-time strategy game, but that game is not held back by hardware limitations. You can play that shit on a toaster probably, and it's wildly successful.
Facts. That's facts.
So, yeah. Anyways, that's the first game on the list. Next game on the list, what is it? Nelly the Seer, released on July 8th. Set in an ancient temple, the game follows a former Aztec warrior gifted with foresight by the god of night and fate. After becoming a priest, he envisions a dark future for his people and embarks on a journey to retrieve a sacred relic to prove his visions true. This dropped in the PC. Cash, any thoughts on this?
It kind of reminds me of Tak and the Curse of Juju. Y'all remember that game?
I remember that.
That's what it reminds me of.
64?
PlayStation?
64?
No, it's PlayStation.
No, PlayStation.
It's PlayStation. Tak and the Curse. I think they even had a TV show on Nickelodeon, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Wait, can you repeat that for me? The name?
Tak and the Curse of Power of Juju or Curse of Juju, one of the two.
It's the Power of Juju. I remember this. This did Game Boy, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, and the GameCube. This actually released on.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they had a TV show on Nick.
That's what's up. So, but chat, I want to let you guys know this week. I normally put together the games releases of the week, but Cash went ahead, took the initiative, wanted to be a boss, wanted to be the big guy.
Listen, chat. I had some time to kill today, and I did the thing, bro. Okay.
So he did it. So forgive me for not having actually seen this Nelly the Seer game. I do want to look at it though, real quick. Obviously we've seen that DC game. And,
yeah, I'm showing it. I'm showing the chat right now.
This is so up your alley, Cash.
Yes, I would definitely play this shit. You know, guys, chat. So
for Ryoku-san with the raid.
Wait, what? You know what's funny? Ryoku-san came in with the raid the moment I start to hear fireworks going off in the background. Chat, that is fireworks. That's not gunshots. Just so you guys know.
I accidentally gave a shout out to Ryu, just Ryu, and not
wow.
Ryoku-san. Ryoku, wow. I will fix this. My apologies. I fumbled the bag here. Welcome in, everybody.
Guys, welcome
in. You want to do the thing? Let them know what we're doing,
Yes,
Cash?
guys, welcome tonight. We are you just joined us in the Gamer Actual podcast tonight. We're talking about the biggest news in gaming. For those who are just coming in, we're just going over the games that got released this week, and then we're gonna get into our main topics. If you guys want to stick around, feel free. We're gonna get into some good conversations tonight. You know what I mean? Also, go check it out
Absolutely.
on YouTube at Gamer Actual and any other podcast platform of your choice at Gamer Actual. There we go.
Yeah, we're everywhere. We're
We're
everywhere.
pretty much
Episode
everywhere.
60, by the way, we've been doing this for over a year. So if you
Yeah.
like video games, I think we're finally getting good at it.
Yeah.
So we just have good vibes. We like to talk about video games and just have fun and just discuss where we think the future of the gaming space is headed. Just good conversations. So welcome in everybody.
All right. All right. So what are we doing now? You said
No, next is
Next
we're gonna
game.
go over the next game. So the next game we got on the list is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, which I believe obviously is the remake.
yes, the remake of 3 or 4.
Yes, and this released on July 11th. The iconic skateboarding series returns with a remastered collection that combines the third and fourth entries. It features upgraded visuals with modern graphics support and introduces online cross-platform multiplayer for up to 8 players. That is actually kind of really sick. This is actually kind of really sick.
Crossplay,
Okay,
crossplay
up
is
to
very
8 players.
important.
You can squad up with your boys.
We can
on the
meet at a
skateboards.
park. We can meet at
Oh
a
my
park.
god, that's kind of sick. That's kind of sick. I did not think I was gonna think that was sick, but that's kind of really, really sick. And the Tony Hawk games, it's all about style and swag and how you look. So
Oh, for sure.
they-
The
they-
music
they
was pretty
really
fire
did-
too.
The music was always fire, but I like this because you can customize your character. You can show off how you want to look. Show up to the skate park with 7 of your boys and show off new tricks. I just think this is really cool. I didn't even get to finish the thing. Anyways, up to 8 players. Players can skate as legends like Tony Hawk, Bucky Lasek, Rodney Mullen, or other new stars like Reyes Salil and Yodo Horogomi. Obviously, these guys are some new skaters.
Yeah, we don't
Each
know
with
these
their
people.
own stats and trick sets for personalized playstyles. Cash and I come from a different era. When you ask us, we are like, so we come from the era where
Pretty much a
how-
jackass era.
not
We're-
only that, but we're the old heads. So like how like NBA guys would be like Michael Jordan's the GOAT and
Right.
people are like, nah, it's LeBron. No, we are like, nah, Tony Hawk is the GOAT.
To-
We don't care what you gotta say about the next guy.
Right.
Tony Hawk is the GOAT for us.
Yeah, bro. Yo, they
Um,
got the Ninja Turtles in here too, bro. You remember the cameos? You used to have like cameos and shit. They have cameos
That's
in
it.
here too.
So this game released for the PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch. I'm assuming the Switch 2. It's also released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. This is kind of incredible considering it's cross-platform. So anyone who buys this game pretty much can play with anyone else who owns this game.
Yes, and you can also play as Doom Guy, by the way, chat. I forgot to mention that as well. Doom Guy is also available.
That's crazy. I mean, in a game with so much swag, do we really want to play as a Doom guy?
I mean, I you know what's crazy too? It's available on Game Pass. I'm waiting for Reaper to say fuck Game Pass in a second. But
It's available on Game Pass,
yes, it's available on Game Pass.
so you can play it. That's crazy.
I can play it. But yeah, do we have anything else?
Yes, we have one more game out here. It is also released on July 11th. It is Dread Flats. A man enters a cursed high-rise to investigate a string of disappearances, but quickly finds himself hunted by terrifying monsters and a cannibalistic evil granny. The
Yeah.
game delivers tense chases, interactive environments, enemy tracking through security, cameras, and unpredictable encounters that keep players on edge. This game released for PC and Cash. Just a quick thingy.
Well,
Where did you get the games releases this week from?
the same site, the same thing that we
What's-
use, the same resource.
let
I
me-
can't remember the name.
I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna give them credit. VG Times, guys. Just so you know, the video game descriptions here, the release dates, and all that. It is credited to VG Times for the information, and we just kind of feed that back to you guys, and we have our own spin on. This is the games releases section, just so you guys know where this information comes from.
Right. But
And yeah,
it reminds me of like I don't know if you guys are familiar with Phasmophobia. That's kind of the vibe that this game
I
gives me
was
right
gifted
now.
that game and I've yet to play it. Sorry, QB. Love you.
I would play it. Is it multiplayer?
I can check right now on Steam.
I want to play more multiplayer horror games, bro, on stream so I can play with my heart rate monitor.
I actually agree with you. Too bad Bello is Weenie
Yeah.
Hut Jr. Oh, I actually don't have, what is it, Phasmophobia? I have Pseudo Regalia.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Pseudo
Anyways, yeah.
Regalia, what's that?
A Pseudo Regalia. I was gifted to me by QB.
Oh, okay.
It's a game.
I don't know that.
Reaper in the chat is saying this game is multiplayer.
No, not this game. He's talking about Phasmophobia.
Oh, I thought that's what you had on the screen for a second. My bad.
Mm-mm.
My apologies, guys.
But yeah, guys. And that's it for tonight's games release this week. My
Notable games releases this week.
notable
Or,
games.
At least the ones we care about.
All right, chat. So for tonight's episode, here's what's gonna go down. Tonight we are gonna be hopping into our first main topic. I forgot to add that shit, the jingle main topics, because I made it.
Oh my!
Actually
You made
did-
it?
I actually did make it.
Oh, that would have been so sick. That would have been so sick.
Next week we gonna be on that next week. So all right, so for tonight's episode, chat, here's what we're gonna discuss. Wait a minute, I just wanted to.
You
What is
posted
going
on the
on?
screen?
No, I'm trying to fix my screen. There, I had an issue there just now. My bad. Boom. There we go. I'm reading off the notes for a second because my teleprompter is not cooperating right now.
Oh. All that glazing just for it to fail on you.
Right? I'm saying, right? Anyways, it's not really its fault. I think I know what happened here. All right, so Nintendo just dropped a quiet bombshell. Its game voucher program is officially ending in January, specifically January 30, 2026. For years, I want to say, people have used this for, I guess, getting discounts because Xbox, Nintendo's notorious for not, I guess, having sales on their games. So a lot of people
Or
use
even
this.
just reduction in prices.
Yes. So people have used this voucher system as a way to like get more. And again, these are first party titles to get first party Nintendo titles. So now the fact that they're getting rid of it, I don't know what that means for the outlook for Nintendo as a whole. Because here's the thing, right? I've been like kind of like going through Twitter for yesterday and today, and I've seen a bunch of like mixed when it comes to what's going on here. Some people say they don't use it. Others say they don't really play games on their Nintendo that much. They usually just go for first party titles, and those are just like few and far in between. So it's like it's not an issue. It's no skin off their back either which way, right?
Yeah. First, should we kind of tell them what exactly the voucher is and how it works?
Yes, go ahead.
So the way the vouchers work, guys, correct me if I'm mistaken, it's $99.99, and you get to like get 2 games with the voucher, and you can use the voucher to claim 2 games. You don't have to claim them immediately, so you can buy the voucher like the beginning of the year, and let's say you're excited
Up to a
about 2
year.
games that come out. Yeah, up to you get to use it up to a year in the future. So let's say you buy it at the beginning of the year and you're excited about a game that comes out in May and another game that comes out in October. You buy the voucher, and then you download the first game and you get down the second game. And pretty much, if the games are releasing for $60 a piece and the voucher is $100, you save $20 in total, $10 a game. So that's the way the vouchers kind of work.
So my thing is, right, I don't really know how to feel about this because I think I still have mine's probably expired by now. I remember getting a voucher whenever you buy a game from Nintendo, if it's a first party title, and I only buy first party titles from my Nintendo Switch marketplace. So whenever you buy one, you actually do get a voucher, right? And I think that voucher is valid for up to a year. But one thing to consider, to think about as well, is the fact even though this voucher program is going to be taken offline next year, they're still adding games to it. So I'm assuming that the new Metroid Prime game that's um, coming out later this year is going to be added as well. And even after the program ends, you still have up to
That
a
makes sense.
year to use your vouchers, which is still pretty
And
good.
the games are forever.
The games are
Well,
forever, yeah, but it's just a
unless
voucher
they
system.
decide to go down the route that we're going to talk about later, but that's a
Late,
discussion for later.
right? So, Heartless, have you ever used any of that?
The vouchers?
Yeah.
No, I have not. I'm the kind of guy, and you know what? I like to save money, so I probably should have been using the vouchers. But I buy Nintendo games so few and far in between.
Exactly, me too. So that's why. So I'm kind of in that camp where it doesn't really affect me per se. Like
I actually, as sad as this might sound to say, I actually see myself not owning any Nintendo products in the future. Like,
I'm the same way.
look what the chat's
Especially,
saying. Reaper in the chat saying the value proposition for Nintendo is getting worse, and he's not lying.
he's not
It's getting worse and worse. I didn't even buy my Switch, my first Switch, and I
right.
probably wouldn't have bought it. It was gifted to me. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I actually love this thing. It's my favorite console.
Right.
I can see why it's one of the most successful consoles in the world. I own a PC, and I'm probably not going to buy any PlayStations or Xboxes. So if am going to buy a console, it's going to be handheld. Therefore, I do like this. But when we talk about the other handhelds in the market nowadays, the Steam Decks,
It's killing them.
the
They're killing them.
Xbox Rock Ally, the value proposition of this thing is disappearing. It's right here, by the way. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like,
So that
right. I'm thinking about it right now. I have the Switch and I have a handful of games on the Switch. Right.
yeah,
I have the Zelda. I have Metroid. And
yeah.
once I beat those games, it's like, am I gonna revisit these games? I probably will, but like way into the future. It's not right now. You know what I mean?
Retro night type revisit.
Exactly, because I'm playing Zelda right now. Like once I beat Zelda, it's like it's gonna be a paperweight at that point. I'm probably just gonna let the kids play on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just I don't know. It's a, and I know that's what Nintendo is kind of banking on. They want people to like they're banking on the fact that people think that their games are timeless, which is why they're doing what they're doing. Like
Yeah.
they got Mario, they got Zelda, they got the Mario Kart series, they got a bunch of other shit. The Donkey Kong that's coming out, I think the Donkey Kong game that's coming out is actually pretty good. But
That
is
we
it
also we're gonna
worth
talk
me
about that
getting a
later.
console? Yeah, is it worth me shelling out $400, $500 to buy a console just to play a Donkey Kong game? I don't
Absolutely
think so.
not.
I don't
Absolutely
think so.
not. Absolutely not.
And I'm impressed by the game. I do like what I saw from the game, but it's just it's
I'm
not
impressed
enough
by
to
a
sway me.
few things that I see with the Switch too that I think are really cool. You know,
Yeah, right.
I gotta give it to Nintendo. They're always seemingly innovative whenever they come up with a new console,
Mm-hmm.
and it's cool. But this generation has me asking, like, the innovations that they bring to the table, is it worth the price tag that they're asking? And then on top of that, buying a Nintendo Switch 2 signals to the market that I, as a consumer, accept your $80 game prices, which I don't.
One, you accept the $80 game prices, and you also own the fact that you also you're leasing hardware
I don't.
from Nintendo. You don't own
The
your games.
games in the thing. I buy this thing, and you're telling me that I don't have the right to put like my own software in it or whatever. And if I do anything of that nature,
You can brick it.
you can brick my console.
Nah.
That's wild. No. So purchasing a Switch 2 is me accepting these new terms and conditions and agreements, and I don't accept that. I do not
Right.
accept that.
You know what's also the crazy thing? It's going back to what we were saying about Nintendo being notorious for not going on sale. Right now, Breath of the Wild is still $60. The price has not gone down.
The
Um,
OG Switch 1 Breath of the Wild.
yes, it's still full price. Even Mario Kart Deluxe,
That's
Mario Kart
crazy.
8 Deluxe. You can
That's
look it up right
crazy.
now, full price.
I don't doubt it. When I was buying games, I was blown away by the fact that all the Nintendo games were $59.99. All the first part. I was like, what the hell? Like,
Next Mario and or Pokemon is what will move the next sales surge. You're probably right. You're probably right. If it doesn't move units, then the pricing model is a fail. I definitely agree. And do you see them putting like an $80 price tag on because they did it with the Mario Kart. Do you see them
I would
doing that
not be
with their?
surprised at all if the next Pokemon game, the next mainline Pokemon game, is an $80 game. I would not
That's
be
what
surprised at all.
that's what I was gonna ask you just now. I
Because
wouldn't be surprised either.
yo, you can play Pokemon for free on the internet. Y'all can miss me with that shit. I'm gonna be real with you.
Hmm.
I only like purchasing Pokemon games because I like Pokemon VGC doubles battles.
Hmm.
And guess what? If the Pokemon game value proposition is going to be trash, then guess what? I'll just play the free version online, which is what the pros players use anyways. The pro players love that the website. There's like a website where you can build teams and you
Yeah,
can
I've
fight
seen it
people.
before. I've seen it before.
You seen Jay and I play on it before.
Right, right. So how?
So
So let me ask you a question. How is Nintendo not gone after that website?
that
Yet?
is, yo, I was wondering the same thing. And yeah, welcome in Hades. Hades in the chat for the audio listeners. Yeah, he said love some Showdown. It is called Pokemon Showdown, I believe.
Mm. How?
Yeah.
How are they able to get away? It's Nintendo. Listen, we're talking about Nintendo.
And and so look, we're talking about Nintendo and the website.
Hmm.
You can click which version of the game you want to play, and it will produce you an identical version of the game where all the rule set works the way it works. All like it's crazy.
Are we sure Nintendo doesn't own this? Are we sure that Nintendo's not involved with this
Nintendo
website?
does not own this. Nintendo does not own this. No.
How are they getting away with this?
We probably shouldn't even be talking about this. Chat, we're gonna delete the VOD for this because we don't want Pokemon Showdown to get shut down.
Maybe because Nintendo hates Listen, I don't know. I don't know. It's very very interesting to me because they went after Power World just to have freaking Pokeballs, bro. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, right? This is not even.
I have a
This is
theory.
not even
I have a
what
theory.
what.
My theory is Pokemon VGC is what it is today because of people like Wolf
Mm-hmm.
and these content creators, and they're professional players, right? They're players and content creators, and my theory is that these players and content creators use this website
Right.
for training,
Mhm.
and Nintendo might not want to alter what the training landscape looks like for its professional players. I could be 100% wrong, but it's a theory because this is a highly used resource for people who play the game competitively. They get to go on the website, build whatever team they want. Which is it's not that easy in the game. In the game, you gotta capture the Pokemon, you gotta breed them.
Here's a better theory. It's because they're not making money off of it.
That was another theory of mine. They're not making any money off of it. It's
They're not
literally just
making
a
any
resource.
money.
It's just
Yeah.
a resource.
They're not making any money off of it, so
But
they can get
emulators
away
don't
with
make
that.
money either. Oh, but emulators directly hurt the sale of the games.
Game, exactly.
Oh, and this is just a resource for training, so I can see.
So
why
I
they
see,
might
I
not
see,
want to...
I see. Now I know. Now it makes sense. It makes sense now. It totally makes sense now. It makes sense
Okay,
now.
cool.
That makes sense.
Nice.
All right. So what do you think this signals to the rest of the industry?
Wait, what do I think? What signals to the rest of the industry?
The ending of the voucher system.
The vouchers? Oh.
No.
Okay, so this is exactly what's going on, okay? You got 100 people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
About 15 of them are executives, and they're just quietly nodding at each other, like telling them, like, yeah, this is the signal. This is the signal. We're gonna do this voucher. We're gonna remove the vouchers. You're gonna raise the prices on your games. You're gonna change your EULAs, and we're gonna shift the landscape together. And they're just looking at each other like, yeah, I see you.
But why do you think they did that? Because it's coming right after the release of the Nintendo Switch 2. So what is it about? Do they want? Is it the fact that they want
Hear me out.
people to play full price for Switch 2 games?
Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
So we are in a shifting market, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just released the Switch 2, and they confirmed how many sales in the unit?
I don't remember.
3.5 million, I think. So it was a crazy number.
Yeah.
So they now know that 3.5 million people have accepted this new ecosystem. So they begin altering it. And they don't just begin altering it out of nowhere. They look around, they say, oh, Ubisoft is changing the EULA. Oh, this game is increasing the prices of its games on its game launcher. This company's doing this. It's our turn to turn it up for our profitability.
Right.
All these companies are looking at the profitability of not only themselves, but all the other companies in the landscape. And they're saying, oh, they're hurting. They're not making enough money. They're a big company, but they're not making enough money. They're not making enough money. We're not making enough money. I'm not going to be surprised to see these companies raising their prices. So I'm going to start to implement my own mechanisms for making me money. We want to remove the vouchers because think about it. If you save $20 on 120, that's 1/6. That's about 17%.
Right.
So they say, yo, that's money in our pocket.
Do you think they're gonna come up with a system to replace the voucher program, or is it just you're just killing it altogether?
If they do, I don't think it'll be anytime soon. I,
And it wouldn't be as effective as the voucher system. I think it's gonna be less.
yes,
But they're
yes,
going to kind of frame it in a way to make you think that you're getting a better option than the voucher system. I'm
yes.
almost certain.
Well, you got to think about it. This voucher system, sure, it can save you money, but it produces more money for them. If they're only making, let's say, $1 million, simple number, guys. If they're only making $1 million a year, and they say to themselves, well, if we give them 17% off, we'll make 30% extra in sales. 30 minus 17, they're still making profit. You know what I'm saying? They increase their revenue. The consumer feels like they're getting a deal. Well, the consumer is getting a deal, but they've increased the revenue. Maybe now though, oh we got a big chat, but so let me finish my thought first. Maybe now though, they're saying we have the confirmed units. People 3.5 million units of the Switch 2 is sold. This signals to us that the consumer is willing to spend more. Let's
Right.
test it out. Let's get rid of the voucher system.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, chat, I don't know what's going on in these boardrooms. All I know is I owned a business for 10 years, only a restaurant, nothing big. Owned a business for 10 years, and I have a little
He's
insight
lying.
as to
He's lying.
I
He's
have
owned
a
a,
little
a
insight.
bigger business than that, chat. I'm saying, lying.
That's cap. I just have a little bit of insight as to kind of like as a business owner, like how do you think? Like how you want to increase revenue? How can you increase revenue? So I sometimes when I see the moves that these companies are making, I kind of try to think about it from their perspective. What is driving them to do this? At the end of the day, it's usually always money.
Mm-hmm.
Always money.
Do you think this is gonna affect their fan base in a meaningful way, or is this just like
Their fan base is kids. Kids have no clue about this.
well, true.
Kids get to enjoy the ride.
Kids,
and the
kids
parents,
and
are
parents,
the ones.
and parents
The
are usually
parents are the ones-
oblivious.
The kids are oblivious. You know
Parents
what I'm saying?
and kids. I feel like parents and kids are oblivious. Like we are like that between.
Yeah,
We're
gamers.
so
so
gamers.
we actually see the gaming ecosystem.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Parents are not gamers for the most part. They're not gamers.
Not only that, Nintendo. I feel like Nintendo consumers are usually very casual, and you really think about it, right? And they don't follow like the news, like gaming news, like we would.
And not only that too. You ever heard of Disney adults?
Yes, I have, and I think
Nintendo has that same effect on people.
Yes,
And
you're
they,
right.
And they just say, oh, $90 for $120 for this alarm clock. It's a Nintendo alarm. I need to have it. Anyway, let's see what Reaper in the chat has to say.
Mm-hmm.
He said, piracy, the fact that the games are only licenses purely digital, and the fact that current Switch are easy to compromise are a lot of what's fueling their decision making. Add that to the fact that they feel like a market leader no matter what they do. That last sentence to me is the part that really sticks out. They truly feel like a market leader, and they feel like they have first movers advantage. I don't know for video game companies who exactly has first movers advantage, but there is definitely a cluster of companies that have it. Nintendo, Sony, and I'd say Microsoft, even though they might be moving away from the hardware department.
Microsoft is definitely moving away from a hardware department, but we could talk about that later. Somebody said something very interesting recently. I don't remember what video I was watching, but they're saying Xbox is slowly becoming Ubisoft America, and I was like, I could kind of see
what
where
do you mean by that?
They're kind of making decisions that are kind of affecting their own.
Right. I see. In terms of decision making, they're
fumbling. Yeah.
They're Steve Urkelin. They're both Steve Urkelin.
Yeah, pretty much. Right. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think this is gonna affect like the broader Nintendo community. Like most people don't. I don't think they're really gonna care. I could be wrong, I could be wrong, but I really feel like people are gonna support they're gonna get their
You're
Nintendo
not
games no
wrong.
matter what.
It's only people like you and I who
Mhm.
actually care about the price of Nintendo games.
Mhm.
The Disney adult people, the people who behave like that, and
Yeah.
the people who aren't really gamers but want to give their kids everything they want, those people are not gonna. They're gonna buy no matter what.
Mhm. Do
They're
you
gonna buy
think
no matter what.
Nintendo's leaving money on the table by doing this shit, or is it just like, eh, they don't, they,
Wait,
are,
do I
or
think Nintendo's leaving the money on the table by doing what?
leaving money on the table by getting rid of? Because I feel like it would. The fact that they had a
The voucher
voucher
program?
system, yeah, the fact that they had a voucher system would have encouraged people to buy more games. But
So I
now
have two theories on this.
people are going to be more cautious moving forward to buying games.
I have two theories on this.
Yeah.
So either Nintendo is testing how this affects their sales,
Mm-hmm.
or they have the confirmation that if they remove the voucher system, they're not going to lose sales.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
So either
yep.
either they say we're going to remove the voucher system and let's see how the market reacts,
Mm-hmm.
or they say we have enough data and we know that the market will eat this hit and the consumer will continue to buy.
Yes, because again, if the Nintendo Switch 2 sales are any indication, I think that's what they're also riding
And
on too.
not only that, you have 3.5 million people who just buy your console, right? If you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get rid of a voucher system, do it at the beginning of the life cycle of the console because all
Yeah.
these people just bought your console.
Right.
How many of those 3.5 million people who bought the console, if they're not happy with this voucher system, what are they gonna do? They're gonna stop buying Nintendo games? No, they just spent $400, $500 on this new console. They're gonna keep buying.
Not only that, they just passed the return window.
They just passed the return window. Yeah, it's like no. It's, these companies are a lot more strategic. Out of those two theories, I'm willing to bet that they have confirmation from the market that they will succeed in doing so.
Mm.
And maybe later on, at the end of the life cycle of or like at the midway point, when games are selling less overall, because I believe at the beginning of life cycle of a console, right, people are buying tons of games.
Right.
And as you get towards the middle of the life cycle of a console, you're not having people buy 5, 6 games at a time because they're not excited about a new console anymore.
Nope.
So maybe then they introduce a new voucher program or whatever.
I can see that. What is the chat saying?
Reaper in the chat is saying when Nintendo does this, they leave room for a competitor to come in as the good guy and capitalize. Examples: SNES, expensive license fees for devs, and another example, Nintendo 64, expensive cards. So I'm not quite sure what he means by the SNES example, but I think with the N64, he's saying when Nintendo was doing N64, it was expensive for the cards, so other companies went for the CD route, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so overall, what do you think about this entire thing before we move on? Any final thoughts?
He said SNES versus the Sega Genesis. Genesis game licenses were cheaper. There we go.
They were.
What do I think about this moving forward?
I think Genesis had a better quality of game too, in terms of like production wise. Their games they looked better to me personally, and I was a Nintendo kid growing up. I always wanted Genesis games because they look so clean.
I feel that. So what do I think about all this? Be real with you. Fuck Nintendo.
Listen, that's my sentiment too, bro. I said this recently. Once I heard all the bullshit that they've been doing, I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. Like, I don't pay attention to Nintendo products that much to let it even upset me anymore.
Exactly.
Like I said, I have a handful of games on Nintendo that I would really look for. Metroid, because I'm a super Metroid fan, bro. Pun intended, right? And Zelda. I can't think of anything else from Nintendo that I really would say, oh, I gotta play that shit. Those are the two games.
Zelda, because you wasn't even a Zelda guy before.
I wasn't a Zelda guy last year. I became a Zelda guy last year.
Now you're like, yo, I'm about to cop a Nintendo Switch 2 because Breath of the Wild 2. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom.
Right? But I'm not going to do that. Yo, they're even selling, you know that they're selling Tears of the Kingdom for the Switch 2 for like, I think, is it $80? I don't want to lie, but I think it's like an extra $10. I think it's $70.
I'll look it up right now. He's got a 95 rating though. I mean, we can't lie.
It's
We
the
noticed they're
same
good
fucking
games.
game. No, it's the same game. Of course, it's gonna have a 95 rating. It's the same game.
$79 at
So it's
Walmart.
$80, bro. But no, like you got what I'm saying though. Like the rating doesn't matter because it's the same game. They didn't change anything in the game. So if the game got a 95 back then, it's gonna get a 95 now. It's not
No,
gonna change.
literally, yeah, for sure. All I was saying in that regard is, it is a quality game. But
Bro.
for
It
$80,
is. It is
for $80, it's
$80.
crazy, man.
$80 for a 4-year-old game, 4-year-old game.
I know, it's crazy.
All
crazy.
right, let's move on. Moving on.
Next topic.
So we are on Ubisoft policy changes and layoffs. So guys, another week, another round of layoffs, and this time it's Ubisoft Red Storm. So if you guys remember Red Storm, those are the guys who kind of like changed the game when it came to like tactical shooters. So when you think about like Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, shit like that, these are the guys that really kind of like changed the game when it came to that in the 90s. I don't know if you remember Red Storm, Heartless. Are you familiar with Red Storm?
I'm so sorry. My audio started crackling, so I unplugged my audio interface and plugged it back in. Did you ask me something?
Yeah, I'm saying, are you familiar with Red Storm?
No.
So these are the guys, like I said, I was explaining to Jack just now. These are the guys.
Tom Clancy and Ghost Recon?
Yes, and
Yes.
Red Storm was actually founded by Tom Clancy and a veteran. I can't remember his name right now. His name's slipping me. But these are the guys that built it. So this is a Tom Clancy company, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, and what happened is Ubisoft laid off 19 people from that from Red Storm. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. There was no real reason as to why this is what they claim, right? This is to restructure I guess their outlook for the company moving forward. And I'm like, this is bullshit. This doesn't make sense to me. But it just seems like corporate speak for something else. I just don't know what it is yet.
My thing is, you're only letting go of 19 people. Like, as a multi-billion-dollar organization, how much money is that? It makes me wonder, like, why these people? What's going on here? Is this a precursor to shutting the studio down?
Not only that though, the people at the top still stays. It's the same people at the top. You are not letting go of the people at the top. You're letting go of the developers, the workers. Those are the people you're getting rid of. You're not getting rid of the people at the top.
Is that confirmed?
No, all right.
They're just devs. The 19 employees are just devs.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are not, but even with the string of layoffs, most of the layoffs were not any like executive. That would have made the news. That would have made the news. There was no.
Funny enough, guys.
You would hear it. Such and such executive is stepping down from whatever role in Ubisoft or wherever the fuck. Yeah. You would have heard it. We're not hearing that. So it's all employees, bro. All employees.
But that's true. But funny enough, guys. Yo, Shank's spitting. This is not the biggest news from Ubisoft this week, but Shank in the chat saying 19 people sounds like a cover-up for a bigger issue. And honestly, that's the first, like, 19 people specifically. How big is a studio? Does a studio only have 19 devs? What? It sounds like the culling of an insurrection from Shank in the chat. Honestly, I would not be surprised if it's something of this nature. Why are you letting go of only 19 people? You're not saving more than $2 million a year here. You know? So I don't get it. I do not get it.
And again, they're claiming that this is for part of a global restructuring to move Ubisoft forward. I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means.
They're only moving downwards.
Right?
I'm confusion. Confusion.
But here, this is also something that we need to consider as well, right? Tencent now has a $1.25 billion stake in Ubisoft now.
Wait, is this the deal that we talked about where they created a subsidiary company that held a few of the games?
Yes. So we're talking about and those are like their big games. So it's not
Assassin's
Splinter
Creed.
Cell, Assassin's Creed. What's the other one? I think Far Cry and another one. It's three games. It's three games that they're trying to turn into a hub of sorts. So essentially,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
trying to find a way to turn these games into live service
If
games. That's
if
what
I
I think.
recall correctly,
Hmm.
Tencent put a $1.25 billion investment into Ubisoft, but they said we don't really care about all of your products. So
Exactly
we're
right.
investing in these three products. So we're gonna create another company, and our investment is gonna go to that company. You
Right.
guys own that company, but our investment goes there, and all of our workings will be done through there.
Yes, pretty much. Essentially, is what's happening.
Essentially,
So, and
essentially
again,
is
to
my
go
favorite
back,
word.
it's a yes. So Rainbow Six, because I just pulled up the notes. Rainbow Six, Far Cry, and Assassin's Creed. Those are the three games that are gonna be under that like company. But again, I think this is an effort to try to find a way to turn these game franchises into some sort of live service. And this is why I've come to this conclusion as well. In Assassin's Creed Shadows, remember that hub that they launched?
Yes, yep.
That
The
hub,
assassin, all the
I
games were on it.
not only that, you can unlock like skins and shit, but now it's for free. And it seemed as if
It was
that was
developed for a store. I
it
remember
was
this. We
supposed to
talked
be
about
a
this before.
it was supposed to be a marketplace, and I
It was
think
overly developed, and they said, nah, they had ideas for making purchasable items on here.
exactly, and I feel like that was a response to the industry currently, how fans were responding to just how companies are milking this whole life service model. Like, why is a single player game selling me skins or swords or weapons for my single player experience? Like, what are we doing here? Like, there's no need for doing it to do any of this shit. It's none.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It's a
And
single
it's
player game.
crazy. A single player game is not going to have the type of replayability as like a multiplayer game. So you
No.
should be offering me ways to unlock this stuff to
Right.
get me to keep playing your game, not sell it to me. You know?
How and unless you're planning on dropping like a new mission every month, you know what? Let me shut up. Not even give these people
Yo,
ideas because
I'll
what
keep
they're
it real
gonna do.
with you. I'll keep it. I would pay a monthly service if it was like, let's say $10 a month, and every month you got a new arc to an RPG game. That would be sick to me. Like,
How frequently does because I haven't played Warcraft in a while. How frequently does Warcraft
I don't know, but I
change
know
up
that
there?
they're big additions when they do add stuff. I think. Does
They
anyone know,
do.
chat?
I
They're
haven't played
usually
War.
huge. People talk. They get hype about the DLCs for World of Warcraft.
Yo, I haven't played Warcraft in years, bro. And the fact that is still like going strong is it's phenomenal to me. That was the
No,
first iteration of the live
no,
service game. If you
hold
think
on,
about
hold
it,
on, hold on, hold on. Shank said Heartless just described Xbox Game Pass. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, imagine Assassin's Creed, the game, came out.
he's talking about a specific game, like a
Yeah.
specific
And
franchise.
instead of me paying $60, $70 up front, I paid like $10, $15 a month. But every month, there was huge additions to the game, like a part of the story.
Hmm.
Oh, God. Forget about them. We're getting trolled in the chat. We're getting trolled in the chat.
Nah. Oh, he's really trying to rile up Reaper. Wow. 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 Say it ain't so. But yeah, Ubisoft time and again has tried to throw their hat into the live service ring and it never pans out. Like, and I'm perfect example, X Defiant. X Defiant could have been a good game if they had stayed in their own lane. But they were trying to directly compete with Call of Duty.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
This reminds me of the ending of your latest video.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Because that's all the industry cares about right now is live service games.
And expectations.
Yeah, setting expectations and then when it doesn't meet that bro, the game barely had a year. You realize that, right? X Defiant barely had a year.
Mm-hmm.
And before that year, they started to send messages out, bro. Like within like the first few months, they were like,
What
listen,
was the other game?
what before?
that got killed and everyone got refunded. We were making fun of it.
That game is so
Maury loved it. What game?
that game is so unimportant. I can't remember it right now, bro.
I cannot remember the name of that game.
Concord.
There it is. Oh my god.
Wow.
Yo, I gotta say. We made fun of Concord so hard.
Yeah.
But
We did.
And then we get mad at the industry for killing games. But we kill their games. We're killing their games.
But it comes down to this, right? People may disagree with me, but I feel like there's just too many live service games, bro. I
Way
said this.
too many.
Yo, so shout outs to Bellow Legends. We were on the phone. We were talking for a while today, right? And one thing that I brought up today was there's so many live service game nowadays that we've become scatterbrains, right? We cannot settle on a live service game. So we keep moving from 10 different live service game. Heartless, we have not yet decided what live service game is our game yet. You realize that? That's
yes,
Go ahead.
we don't want to live in a landscape where there's only 3 or 4 live service games because it
And-
will monopolize.
Oh, and I agree, but it's just like where there needs to be some kind of like middle ground here. Like something needs to happen because we can't. Yo, I feel like every month there's another live service game that's coming out. Splitgate recently came out. Splitgate's fun, but we have yet to like say, yo, all right, we're gonna settle it and play Splitgate because Marvel Rivals is still there. I still want to play Marvel Rivals. Oh no, wait, some people are still playing fucking Fortnite. Oh no, wait, there's Call of Duty. Oh no, wait, there's so many of them, bro. There's so many of them.
This is what needs to happen. All the games need to go cross-platform. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is everyone needs to be able to play with each other. Because if you're gonna have a live service game, the player base needs to be big enough for me to want to go play with and continue on to play with them, right?
Yeah.
That's step number 1. The price of development needs to go down. Okay?
Yes.
That's step number 2. And then the price of the live service needs to go lower. And then if all 3 of those things happen, we in a landscape where tons of games are live service, they can afford to stay afloat. The consumer can afford to be engaged in multiple live service games. You don't have to pick your live service games. And the likelihood of your live service game getting shut down because there's not enough players gets reduced because everything's cross-platform. So the player base.
Yes and no, because I feel like people are going to no matter what, people are gonna pick something to like dedicate their time to. We only have but so much time in the day to play games, right? Not only that, like think about the amount of hours that people have already dumped into their live service game of choice. Call of Duty players.
Then that's why they still play Call of Duty because it's hard for them to let go.
Yeah.
So.
I said this before. It's like you're in a relationship with a toxic bitch with good, you know. And I use the term bitch very, very, very. I used it on purpose. It means that person is toxic. It means that person is toxic.
It doesn't mean they're a woman. It
Right.
just means they're toxic.
Right.
It could be a guy. It could be a guy.
Exactly. So I have to specify that because I don't want nobody coming for me. But that's exactly what I mean. It just means that they're toxic and you know you need to get away from this person, but you keep going back. And that's the problem here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know what we're going to do here. And I feel like Ubisoft is trying to find a way to turn their single player games into live service games. And it's just not going to work because I just don't see this happening. Stop going back. Get help. Facts. I go back to all of them. Wow, Heartless. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I am done. I'm done. Do you?
So is my
Do you?
wallet.
Do you see a world in which live service game, like a single player game, becomes a live service game?
Yes. Absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
you? I mean, successfully. Can you imagine that happening?
Yeah, it's got to be like Final Fantasy, the 14 one, where it's $10 a month and they just keep adding to it. But that's a multiplayer game. But
I'm talking
What I'm
single player
saying
though.
is,
I'm talking single player though.
single player game. Imagine a single player game instead of releasing for $60, release for $30. You pay $10 a month, and they keep adding new chapters to the story month after month after month.
It
How
wouldn't
is
have
that
to be.
possible though?
It wouldn't have
Dev
to be
prices
month.
have to go down.
Yes. Not only that, it wouldn't have to be month after month. I feel like that. I don't think that's realistic. A month after month is not realistic. It's not a realistic expectation. But if they
I
did
mean,
it in like,
maybe one month is true gameplay and a story. The next month it could be a video art piece. You know what I'm saying? The next month you get skins and cosmetics. Next month you get a new chapter to the story. You know what
right.
I'm saying? It's like a cycle where you're continually getting content.
You know who did
Talk to me,
that?
Germ.
You know who actually I feel like did that very well? It's not. It
Who?
wasn't live service though. Telltale. Telltale used to drop episodes of their games.
Yeah,
So
and that's how I can see this happening.
yeah, that would make sense because then you could justify people paying that way.
And chat said y'all are describing the heyday of purchase expansion packs. Yeah, this is like literally.
That yeah,
The only difference is you put your credit card in, and month after month the auto renews, and it's like saying, yo, I'm really excited about this developer's game and their product and the package that it comes with, and I want to support. And in return, you know what I'm saying?
here's something. There's a stipulation to this though. When my say for instance, I decide not to pay for something this month, I should still own the games that own the stuff that I already paid for the prior months.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You
I
know,
mean, absolutely. If it's not like that, you're not gonna force me to. You're not gonna shackle me and say, "Hey, the moment you stop paying everything you've ever paid for, it goes no way."
exactly. So that
Yeah,
also would have to be a stipulation there as well. But here's the
absolutely.
thing: I don't trust the industry, and I don't think they would do
I
that.
don't trust it. I don't trust the industry either. I got another idea. Okay.
Okay.
So like the Blizzard, the launcher, the Blizzard launcher. You go to open up Overwatch, and it opens up the Blizzard launcher, and it shows you all the Blizzard games.
Mm-hmm.
I can see in the future companies having a membership to their launchers, where like
That
we say,
that's what Ubisoft wants to do. That's exactly what Ubisoft wants to do. What you're
so.
describing is exactly what they're trying to do.
But what does it come with though? Because the only way I can see it being appealing to me as a consumer is if I really like all of the Blizzard games. I play Hearthstone, I play Diablo, I play Overwatch, and I play whatever the hell they got. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I really like their games. And the Blizzard live service monthly membership is $20 a month, and I can expect to see something for at least 2 of my games on there every month, right?
Right.
This month you get some Overwatch skins. Next month you get an expansion to StarCraft. The month after, you know what I'm saying? Or every month you get a comp. I can see that being appealing if you really like this. Like, if you're really into Blizzard and all of the Blizzard games, a package like that I can see being appealing. You know?
Right.
But and then Reaper saying EA tried it with EA Origin. Please chat and Reaper if you guys.
They did. They
you guys
definitely
let me
did.
know what that package consisted of. I am really intrigued to actually know what that package consisted of.
I have EA Origin too. So, yeah, that's exactly what Ubisoft was trying to do. So that's what that Assassin's Creed hub was, and you can switch between games on the fly, like within the game. Like while you're
Yeah,
playing the
yeah.
game, you can call up the hub and you just go directly into the other game. I thought it was pretty cool, but the fact that you're trying to do some kind
You
of
have
like
to own all the games, by the way.
you have to own
You can
you
only,
have to own all the games, yeah. But the
uh,
fact that you're trying to do like a live service shit towards all of that, I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'm not really quite sure. I'm not really quite sure how Assassin's Creed could have pulled off live service. Germ, though, in the chat saying Monster Hunter was originally a solo experience and made a successful jump to live service, and this is very true.
Yeah, but it's multiplayer.
I will say they
multiplayer.
added multiplayer to the mix.
So I'm talking about single players in general. I love multiplayer games, but I want to see more story driven multiplayer. I don't think we have enough of those. Most of these games that we see nowadays is like just it's a grindy kind of multiplayer game. It's not an experience that we can share together. Like for example, Gears of War. We're not playing to get to the end of a story. We're just playing the game every day. We're grinding to, oh, we're gonna unlock to build this fucking armor or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't know what y'all monster
Yeah.
hunters do, but you get what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
want to have a shared like story experience with my friends. I don't want to just play games just to play them.
And you're wondering and asking yourself, like, how can they take a story experience and
Mm-hmm.
make it fit the live service
Live
model?
service. It's very. I think it's difficult. What you explained though would work, but again, I don't trust the industry. They're gonna find some way to make that feel wrong.
Yeah. No, of course, of course, of course.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
we
I mean,
talked about WoW earlier too. We talked about World of Warcraft earlier, Jeremy, as well.
I, I can see like a Steam membership being a thing in the future. It's like, yo, you pay $10 a month, you get exclusive deals month after month after month, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. I can
Right.
see that stuff kind of
Mm-hmm.
doing this thing.
Question: do you think this Ubisoft thing is a targeted cut, or is there some underlying thing? Is it mismanaging? Do you think? What do you think is?
19 people. I think they're covering up a cover up. Like,
Oh, you want to hear something juicy?
what?
3 of their executive, I think, just got locked up. They got sentenced to I don't remember how long.
What?
While I was doing research, yep.
How is this not a main topic? What are we doing here?
I mean, I'm gonna tell you exactly right now.
But wait. This wasn't even the biggest news for Ubisoft this week, in my opinion. What else we got here?
No, that wasn't the biggest news. You're right. It was the policy change. We're gonna talk
No.
about that in a second.
Yes.
But it says
Yes.
arrest and investigation in October 2023. 5 former Ubisoft employees, including Serge, I can't say that name, Tabi Francios, and were taken into custody as part of. I think they just finalized all the 2023 case. Right? And I think it was about misconduct, if you know what I'm saying. I can't say the rest. So, let me see if I can find this.
Reaper's letting us know news reporting major details left out. I'm telling you, this is so fishy to me. So fishy to me. I'm telling you, it's a cover up to a cover up.
French court convicts ex Ubisoft executive over culture of workplace harassment. And
It's
this article was issued on what date is this? Where is it? I just saw the date here. It was a couple of days ago. Where's the date? I'm overlooking the date. Anyways, yeah, he was
Okay.
sentenced for misconduct. I'm not going to say the rest. Like I said, misconduct.
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 Can't be out here misconducting.
Can't be out here misconducting. It's not funny, chat, but like, yeah,
It's kind of funny.
it is. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So, and again, going back to what we were saying, that's not even the craziest part. It's about their policy changes. Heartless, you want to tell the people what the policy change is?
I got you. So Ubisoft has made some changes to their end user license agreement, and let me pull up the details on this so I don't talk out of my ass. As you guys know, I love to do that. And this is kind of interesting. So, as you guys know, last week we were talking about the Stop Killing Games movement, and this has kind of become like a popular topic because people are seeing support for their games disappear, and they pay for the games and so on and so forth. Ubisoft has made their own on this, and they made some alterations to their end user license agreement.
Bro.
And I'm gonna give you the very specifics. One of the details of this alteration is that when they stop supporting games, they're demanding the legal power to force you to uninstall the game, and if you own physical copies, they are legally within their right to demand you destroy it.
Now tell me, chat. What?
So
What?
this is kind of people might be thinking to themselves like, how are you gonna demand I destroy it? Like, how are you gonna prove that I didn't destroy my copy? And yeah, they might not be able to, but like, it's no longer a collector's item because now you can't sell it on the internet marketplace, or maybe you can, but if you get caught, you might face legal repercussions
Right.
from Ubisoft.
Because might be
And
considered piracy at that point. Who knows?
the moment you buy the game, you accept the license agreement, and then in the future, if you ever get caught selling it, so Shank's saying there's no way this holds up in court, and I'm not sure this is something they're even going to court for. They're just altering their license agreement. This
Right.
is their license agreement. So in the same way that doesn't like Disney's license agreement say that if you, I seen
Oh,
somebody.
you can't sue. You can't sue Disney if I don't remember what the stipulations
Somebody, I'll
are.
tell you, somebody got hurt at a Disney theme park, I believe, but because that they were signed up to Disney Plus, and the Disney Plus license agreement says that there is no way that this person can ever sue
Yes,
Disney.
I remember that. I remember
They
that.
weren't able to sue for damages, physical damages.
Like,
So-
how does that equate to that? Like, this is Disney Plus we're talking
That's
about.
not even the top. That's not even the topic of conversation today. The thing is, the license agreement is strong enough. If it could do that for Disney,
Right.
nobody's gonna. Germ saying Disney lost that case. Listen, I love it. And I really do love it, and I love being wrong here. But it doesn't. That's not even the point. The point is these license agreements. They put whatever they want in the license agreement. And the moment you purchase the game,
Right.
you are agreeing to their license agreement. If Nintendo lost that case, which I'm glad they did.
I mean, Disney. Disney.
I mean, yeah, if Disney lost that case, and I'm glad they did, I'm sure it has to do because they were performing some bullshit.
Right.
And it involved two different services. Disney Plus, roller coaster is not involved, this and that. But when you buy a game, and in the license agreement, it says specifically, when we stop supporting this game, you agree to destroy the game, and then you get caught selling it on eBay, I think they have legal grounds to sue. Will they sue? I don't know. Are you damaging them enough to make them want to spend money suing you? I don't know. But
Now, here's the thing. They also didn't explain how much can this legal document be enforced. So we don't know to what extent they can go to enforce this document. This can just be very well them talking out of their ass, right? We don't know.
it could just be them putting in legal writing ways to protect themselves from getting sued in the future for discontinuing support of a game. Imagine they discontinue support of the game, and you get mad and you go online and say, I can't play my copy, and then they say, well, you're not even legally allowed to own it anymore.
Right.
Good luck suing. You know what I'm saying?
I think this is also a response to the Stop Killing Games initiative. Here's the thing, though. Ubisoft was also a part of that reason of the whole Stop Killing Games becoming a movement because they took the crew offline.
Yep.
That's where all of this started from. Well, it's not exactly the main
It's just
thing
one
that
of the
started.
games that
It's just
made
it's
people-
one of the exactly. It's just
It
one
could
of
be the
things.
straw that broke the camel's back, or
Essentially, right?
Essentially, yeah.
It contributed
the timing
to
of
the
the timing of it lines up. But the man who started the movement, I'm pretty sure he's from the EU, by the way, and he started it like last month. So
Was
the
it last
timing
month?
kind of or maybe like a month before that. It's fairly recent.
It's very recent.
I wasn't hearing about it until last month. So I'll actually look it up. Just so not wrong. When
I can't remember the wait a minute.
it actually started in 2024, but it gained momentum after the closure of Ubisoft's racing game, The Crew.
See?
So, there you go.
Ross Scott. His name is a YouTuber by the name of Ross Scott,
And that's the man who started.
who started the movement. Yes. But I also feel like Pirate Software is one of the reasons why this movement became so popular as well, because of its
It caught the
different.
traction.
Bro, listen, I won't get into the details of that, but listen, if y'all want to go dig and sift for all of that information, y'all go ahead. I won't stop you. But yeah,
I'm not really here to kind of. I don't really like discussing people.
Right.
Really, but.
Exactly.
Pirate Software is an interesting case, I have to say, though. We liked him. We did like him. We liked the way he put his content together. But I watched a video the other day of a software engineer going into his You know how Pyro Software he does dev streams.
Right.
So he has dev streams, and apparently the software engineer he went into his dev streams to look at the source code of his games.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the guy doesn't actually know how to make games.
Who Pirate Software doesn't know how to make games?
He claims to be a video game developer of 20 years experience, and I watched a video game developer, no, not even a video game developer, just a software engineer, a programmer, go through his code and just point out obvious mistakes that even a junior engineer would not make. An entry-level engineer wouldn't make these kind of mistakes. Because Pyro Software, he develops a game.
Mm-hmm.
That video got debunked on Reddit. It's not the only one I've seen. Please send me a link, though. I'd love to see that. Please send me a link.
But, like I said, bro, this whole like Ubisoft situation is just it's getting worse and worse for Ubisoft, and I don't know. They're really like devaluing their brand. I don't know if I said devaluing or if they've devalued their brand. I don't know which one I need to say in this particular moment right now. Do you think there can be a comeback for Ubisoft?
I'll say this. Tencent put $1.25 billion into Ubisoft for
not Ubisoft, into their 3 games.
into the 3 games, but they don't. It's not like they paid $1.25 billion for 3 games. They paid $1.25 billion for a percentage of a company that runs these 3 games.
Right.
So if they pay $1.25 billion, I can't even speak today. $1.25 billion for like let's say 10% of that company, then they value that company at $10 billion. You see what I'm saying?
Because remember, so this whole thing is because they're trying to get an ecosystem. So do you think they're prioritizing stock? I guess you could say shareholders over their employees and customers.
Hold on. Tencent owns 25% of Ubisoft. They paid $1.25 billion for it, which means 25%. Ubisoft is valued at $4.3 billion today. Okay? So I'm gonna figure out how much was Ubisoft worth in the last 3 years.
They've been losing. Like, have you watched them?
Is it going down or is it going up? That's the question I want to get the answer to.
It's going down. Ubisoft is going down. I'm a double check that, but I'm pretty sure Ubisoft is going down in price.
And you're so right. They were worth $5.98 billion in 2023. That means they lost 33% of their value and was forced to give up 25% of their company. These are dreadful numbers, if you ask me. Dreadful numbers.
There it is, chat.
Ugh.
Recent times, oh yeah, they definitely have had some duds, and they've had okay games. That's the thing, but I feel like they can't afford to have okay games in this particular time. they just can't. Because again, I think Star Wars was an okay game. It wasn't a spectacular game, if that makes any sense, right? But it was an okay game. It was a fun game. I thought it was a fun game, but it's nothing to really write home about, personally.
It's just crazy to think. The whole video game industry, like when you really think about it and you take all these ingredients, it's in shambles. The games cost too much to make. The consumer, graphic-wise, we have too much expectations. So these companies are forced to put hundreds of millions of dollars into these games. The profit never satisfies the investors. There's always layoffs. They have no clue about their pricing models. The video game industry is an absolute shambles if you think about it.
Let me ask you a question. Based on that, with so many like downsizing and just like layoffs, do you think that the video game industry is just in a survival of the fittest mode right now?
Right now, literally. Yeah,
I would say that. Yeah, I think that.
Yeah,
I think that's
nothing in the chat saying we definitely put way too much focus on graphics. Well, what happened was in the last 15 years, the graphical improvements were just so drastic that the consumer didn't want to go back for the most part, unless you're playing like a retro or like an artistically styled game for like a game that is designed to look like an older game,
Mm-hmm.
people care about graphics, and it's causing games like Spider-Man to cost $300 million to develop.
Not only that, I feel like the industry itself started to overinflate the the importance of graphics. They started to sell people that that's what makes a good game, and a lot of
Yeah,
consumers started to believe that shit.
yeah, and now the gaming industry is at a point where the video game developers cannot afford to make the games that people want. And they actually don't even know what people want anymore. I don't think it
No,
almost seems to me that they don't even know what people want anymore.
they're detached from there's a bro, it's a clusterfuck. There's a lot of things happening in the games industry right now that is a detriment to the games industry. It comes down to one, people that don't understand their audience, two, people that don't give a fuck about their audience, right? So they'll know
Yep.
what their audience wants, but they're choosing
Yep.
to ignore that because they think they know better than their audience.
That's all the hubris. This is also
The
very true.
the hubris is on up there, bro. Hence why we got games like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now you said it first, so I'm just reiterating now, okay? I'm just
Dragon Age Veilguard.
Dragon Age Veilguard. Like you felt like you knew better than your consumers. You know that that's not what they want from that particular franchise. Go make something else. Put that into something else. You know what I mean? That's not
Yep.
what they're doing, right? But hey,
Yep.
what do I
We
know?
got we got chat saying a good example of what you talked about is Square Enix. I think he's referring to
Final
the
Fantasy.
graphics. Final Fantasy. We got Final Fantasy X pushed the limits of the PlayStation 2 so hard. If you were to ask me 10 years ago, name one thing about Square Enix, give me one word to describe Square Enix, I would tell you beautiful, right?
Right.
They pushed the limits of the PlayStation 2 so hard that they became synonymous with beauty for me. Graphic wise, I expect nothing less than beautiful from Square Enix, right? And
Right.
now to make these games, it's very costly. And and the funny thing is too, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna start using AI, and then the consumer is gonna be like, "No, we won't want you using AI. We want you paying real artists to do all this."
Right.
I'm telling you, the video game industry is in absolute shambles right now.
Yeah, they don't know which direction to take. But I'm gonna tell you one thing though. I think I don't. Here's I'm gonna take that back. I don't think the video game industry is in shambles. Heartless, hear me out. I think the triple A game studio is in shambles because we've
Facts,
seen we've seen multiple double A games and indie games come and fucking sell gangbusters. They kill it,
facts,
right? But
facts.
triple A, there's something wrong with the triple A space, bro. There's something fundamentally wrong with the triple A space.
Yeah, facts. And just a clarification here too. Shake was not talking about Square Enix and graphics. He was talking about Square Enix and their hubris. They
Oh,
said gamers don't want turn-based anymore, and Expedition 33 came, which by the way is a double A game, if I'm not mistaken.
it is a double A
Small
game,
developers.
indie
What is it?
game,
What indie game?
indie
What's the name
game.
of the studio? Flatbread. What's the name of the studio? Come on.
No, 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 no.
What is it?
I can't remember. Why am I forgetting the name?
Well,
Right
I'll get
now?
it in a second. But Expedition 33 came in and proved them wrong. Yeah, man, these companies, there's a lot of hubris. There's a lot of hubris. And that's why it's refreshing to us as consumers when companies ask us for feedback. We
Right.
always love it.
Yeah,
We
we
always
do.
love it.
We definitely do. Um, what do you think the industry should do in terms of like protecting their devs and your workers? What do you think a direction is? Like we've talked about this before in terms of like unionizing. Do you think that is the route that we need to take, or do you think that's just opening up another
I think this is another
Pandora's
can of
box?
worms.
Yeah, I
I
think
think this
that's
is another
another
can.
Pandora's box.
I
I do.
think if your industry needs a union to protect its workers, then
Mm.
your industry is just a bunch of slave owners,
Mm, damn.
right?
Mm. And I think people are and what would I think because this is one thing that I thought about as well when it came to that is like would start using that as and try to find loopholes to exploit after they unionize is what I'm saying.
Could you please repeat that for me?
I think people on both ends would find a way to exploit that would find loopholes into that union and then exploit it within
I mean,
whatever agreements that are set.
I think we've both heard good and bad things about unions,
Yes,
right?
we have. We definitely have.
So, yeah. So one of the things is a lot of people want to be game devs, right?
Mm-hmm.
The industry is going to correct itself. It's going to say we don't have jobs for all these people, and over time, less people will become game devs. The idea of becoming a game dev today is a lot less attractive than it was 5 years ago,
Right.
and therefore, less people are going to go to school to become game devs. And in
Mm.
5 years from now, it's not gonna feel as harmful to game devs because there's gonna be less people competing for the jobs. I think that's
Right.
like the natural. That's kind of like the natural progression of employment kind of works. Sector has jobs. It becomes a popular sector. People go for those jobs. It becomes oversaturated. People
Mm-hmm.
lose jobs. The popularity of the job is now no longer as high as it was.
Right.
So, and chat saying unionization in the creative field is not easy to do properly.
Facts. I agree. I agree. I don't know. It's
I
very
want to answer your
difficult.
question though. I
Hmm.
want to answer your question because you asked me like, what do I think
Yeah. What do you think?
that these companies could do to you want the answer that no one's gonna like?
What's that?
This is the truthful answer that no one's gonna like. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
companies are gonna begin using AI, which is by the way why they feel comfortable with all these layoffs. They're gonna begin using AI.
I really feel like that's what they're leaning into. That's
They're,
their next
they're
step.
going to.
That's
This
the
is the
next
next
step.
step. They're going to say the video game industry cannot afford to have 200 million developers.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna cut it in half. There's gonna be 100 million, and they're gonna use AI. These games are too expensive to make. They're gonna say these games are too expensive to make. You guys want AAA titles, and you want companies to be able to stay alive to make them. Well, we're gonna have our employees that we keep. They're gonna start using AI to pump out more work, and it's gonna take half as many people to develop the game than it did before. We get to make money. The people who are here are not gonna have to worry about their job because the company's making money, and the consumer, they're still gonna raise prices on us, but the consumer is not gonna have to quote unquote pay more. That's what they're gonna say. You know?
Right.
And Hades said, I'm gonna stop buying games.
That's the new
And
movement. Stop buying games.
Hades said, I'm gonna stop buying games. Shank said, hope you all are ready to start playing D&D over Discord. Shank, we actually already did that before.
We
You
did.
weren't
That was
there. You
fun.
missed out on. We did that. We had fun. We had people. I was a
Listen,
wizard.
I'm forming a group. I'm gonna call us the Backlog Boys. That does not sound right. I take that back. Never mind.
Yo, the backlog
Backlog
boys? Yo, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and clock out.
While I was saying it, it was like this does not sound right.
So, yo, but please, somebody in the chat tell me I'm wrong. Is this not what's happening? Video game company says, no. We need to make money. We're going to cut our staff in half. We're going to use the latest tools to make the same result possible with half the staff. And we're going to charge people the same amount of money. Otherwise, we're gonna have to raise the price. Yo, you guys, listen. I'm Ubisoft. You as a consumer, if you're not willing to let me use AI, you're gonna have to pay $120 for my game. If you want me to maintain employing all these people and keep your game less than $100, we need to use AI.
Mm.
Tell me I'm wrong. I want the chat. I want
I see
somebody
that.
in the chat with some insight and some intellect on the idea and the concept to tell me that I am wrong.
I'm waiting for Reaper. Or I think Reaper is the person
I,
here with
I
the
think
most
Reaper.
insight.
I think Reaper would have an idea, some kind of response here. Which, by the way, guys, I have to say, the most fun I ever have on these podcasts is with this level of engagement with the chat. Because-
Facts, 100%.
Because at this point, I no longer feel like Cash and I are putting on a show. I feel like we're just creating a space for
To have
all
a
of us to
conversation.
learn.
Yeah, and have conversations. Any final thoughts before we move on?
Move on. I had enough of this. I think I'm right. Reaper says AI stuff is already seeping in. I think I'm right.
You're not getting.
Upscaling
We're
it.
not getting. We're not getting rid of AI. It's not happening. It's just not
It's
gonna
not
happen.
happening. It's not happening.
It's
It's like I'm telling you, it's like owning a carriage in like 1905, and then you see all these cars around you, and nobody is paying for your services on the carriage ride anymore because
Mm-hmm.
they're just getting taxis. And you being like, damn, man, what am I going to do with all these horses? You
Right.
sell them when you buy a damn car. That's what you do. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. All right, move on,
Mm-hmm.
please, please, please.
Yo, this train is going whether you like it or not. Whether you're on it or not, that train is going. It's
The
gonna
train is
go.
going.
Yeah. And you
I
know
got to
what?
sneeze. Give me a second.
Please make sure you mute this time. Oh, last episode, Hartness popped a sneeze and thought he was muted. He wasn't. He was not. Anyways, guys, let's move on. Now, if you are looking forward to the biggest games of 2025, you might have to temper your expectations. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So, games from I think Call of Duty is one of the games that have been delayed thus far. Crimson Desert. What else did I miss? There's a few games. Give me a second. So Crimson Desert, Bloodlines 2, that's Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2, and Prince of Persia. Those games are all slated for this year, and they have since then been delayed. We're gonna go through a list of all the games that were slated to release this year, and have now been seen as delayed. Some are later this year, so we still have games coming out, but a lot of them are until next year. Um,
It's
so
funny you say
far,
this.
what's that? Go ahead.
This list is, I think, the reason you're not going to win the games draft.
Yeah, probably. I don't even remember I need to find that list and pull it up.
GTA was enough. GTA was enough for you to
Yeah,
drop out of
yeah,
first place.
yep. So guys, here's the so GTA 6 delayed now May 2026. So that was easily the biggest. It was gonna easily be the biggest game of this year, right? But there's no surprise here. Here's the thing. I feel like Rocksteady. I could be wrong, but I think Rocksteady is one of the few devs that can um, afford any timeline they want, and people won't be upset as much. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
You said Rockstar or Rocksteady?
I said Rocksteady, but I meant Rockstar. They're the
Okay,
few
that's facts.
they're the few devs that can do that. Like, listen, we need more time, and people are gonna be like, you know what? We understand because we know when they drop, when Rockstar delivers, bro, they deliver. So people are
Bro,
willing to kind of give them that pass.
people will make memes for 12 years straight saying we got X, Y, and Z before we got GTA 6, and then it will buy it day one. They don't care.
But I think that's their way of keeping GTA 6 in the public zeitgeist. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's their way of just keeping the hype of GTA 6 alive by just
Even if you're
making
not
these
a gamer
memes.
now,
Yeah.
you probably have come across the memes.
Yes. So I think that's all. To me, that's kind of marketing. That's kind of brilliant marketing if you think about it, right?
And Hades in the chat says, "What's one more year spending a couple thousand on GTA 5?" I think GTA 5 success and its continued success makes Rockstar highly comfortable
To push
in
their
whatever
GTA 6
delays.
back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you hear about the actress that is playing one of the
she shut her
protagonists?
social media off.
Yeah, just completely shut it down. She just disappeared. I don't know what happened. I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Imagine
I wonder
GTA
why.
6. Imagine they dropped a new trailer for GTA 6 and she's no longer in it. It's a different character, the
That'd
different
be
model.
crazy.
That'd be wild. Um, Also, Prince of Persia, the remake got delayed indefinitely. So Prince of Persia remake, which I was looking forward to. Guess who? You already know who's developing this hard. This is Ubisoft, right? And it was originally due for March 2024, and then it got pushed back indefinitely. We don't know when exactly this game. Actually, no, we do. Last year, when Ubisoft had their Ubisoft Direct, they said the game would release 2020, like late 2026, I believe. And all we saw from that was a fucking CGI candle. So I don't know. All I saw from that, we didn't see gameplay, we didn't see a trailer. The entire trailer was just a candle that said it's happening in 2026 or it's coming in 2026. That's what I remember. So
Ubisoft back at it again.
Ubisoft being Ubisoft, bro. That's so Ubisoft.
Definitely not Ubi hard.
No. That's actually funny. All right, so there's also Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. It was announced in 2019, originally set for 2020, and released now releasing in October 2025. That's 6 years. That's a 6 year delay.
That's crazy.
That's a
6 years.
That's a
You
six
can
year
keep
delay.
it at that point. You can keep it at that point.
Is it gonna be that? Here's the thing, though. The When a game is delayed for that long, the level of expectation that is set on that, this game has to be phenomenal. This game cannot come out and be like, oh, just okay. It can't be a mediocre. It cannot be just an okay game. You just took,
It has to be GTA standard.
yeah. If it's not, then that's a flop, automatic. Because people are gonna put that game under a microscope.
I agree. I agree. We already do put games under microscope. I have to say, we are the consumers, and I always want to protect the consumers. But we do have crazy high expectations sometimes.
We
when
do,
it comes
we
to,
do, we do.
We do.
But no, but with delays, I feel like delays puts another level of expectation on that
Yes.
product.
Yes,
Because now
absolutely.
we're anticipating an even better product.
Especially if you got to a point where there's, because I think this can happen. You can put pre-orders in a game and then delay the game,
Yes.
so people can pay for your game and then you delay the game.
And then you delay the fucking game.
And if you don't delay the game, you just release an unfinished game, and then people paid full price for an unfinished game, and then you finish it at a later time.
Yes, because that's kind of what the industry has been doing lately, if you think about it. That's kind of what happened with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of people got refunded, but still, that's what happened. Crimson Desert, also, that's from the devs of Black Desert. That was announced in 2020, originally set for 2021. Now its due date is late 2025. Who had Crimson Desert on their list? Was it me or was it somebody else?
I'll pull it up right now.
I don't remember.
I'll pull it up right now.
And here's the thing,
I have
that
it right here.
that game was actually supposed to be an MMO, an online MMO, and then they shifted it to a single player action game. It looks beautiful though. I'm not gonna lie. Crimson
Wait,
Desert looks beautiful.
Subnautica.
I had
Oh,
Subnautica.
you have Crimson Desert on your list,
Oh my
and you have
God.
Subnautica 2 on your list.
Yeah, Subnautica 2 is on the list, but it's not delayed. Subnautica 2 is not delayed.
Wait, isn't that the... Okay, never mind. So you have
I
Grand
have
Theft Auto
Yeah,
and Crimson Desert on your list?
yeah.
And you both got delayed?
Crimson Desert is delayed to later this year, though. It's coming out this year, but
Okay.
it's later.
Okay,
it's
okay,
later in the year. It was supposed
Okay,
to. It
I'm
was
praying for
slated. Man, listen. I
Thoughts and
hope
prayers.
so.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers, guys. Thoughts and prayers. And then another game, Arc Raiders, which I think got announced quite some time ago. Arc Raiders has been in development for a long time. And it said expanded gameplay version. It's been delayed to have a more expanded gameplay version. We talked about this game before, and I actually do like what it looks like, but I just don't know what to expect from the game. Also with Pragmata, those two games were both, I think, announced around the same time, and they've been delayed for years. Pragmata is... I can't remember when Pragmata was first announced. Give me a second. But I think
I'll find
Pragmata
it for
was...
us.
I think it was announced during E3. And E3 doesn't exist anymore, bro.
No way.
Yes.
All right, bro. You ready for this?
What?
June 2020 during Sony's PlayStation 5 reveal event.
Right. And then the game they went dark with the game. They didn't... It's a Capcom game, by the way. It's a Capcom game. Capcom said
wait.
nothing about the game.
Wait, you said this game got delayed?
Yeah, it was delayed. People, to
We
the
just
point
seen the
where...
trailer for this. We just seen...
Yes, with the little girl that looks like Mega Man. But that's why people were so surprised about the game, because the game, it was radio silence about the game until recently.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, it looked good. It looked good.
It does look good. I'm not gonna lie, it does look good. So I'm looking forward to playing that as well. But we don't have any official release date, do we? Is there any release date for Pragmata? Let me check.
I don't think so.
Double check. It just says scheduled for release in 2026. So there's no official release date. None. So there's that. So most of these games are like, I don't know, bro. My question to you, Heartless. All right, do you think delays are a necessary evil for AAA studios, or is it a sign that the game is, or it's a sign of like a broken formula or a broken
It's
format?
not black and white. It's not black
No.
and white. Because I'll say this: Capcom is developing this game.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 years ago, Capcom announced this game, and then they went radio silent, right?
Right.
And in the meantime, they've been developing Street Fighter 6
Mm-hmm.
and Monster Hunter.
Right. Which I think they're focused more on Monster Hunter.
Than Street Fighter for sure,
Yeah.
right? Monster Hunter, I think, is their big cash cow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they developed Monster Hunter, and well, they've been developing Monster Hunter and Street Fighter. So they announced Pragmata, and in between Pragmata and now, they've released Street Fighter and Monster Hunter, right? So I would say I would give Capcom way more of a benefit of the doubt in a game's release than I would give Ubisoft.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You see
I
what I'm
feel
saying?
that. I feel that. I feel that.
Ubisoft hits you with delay after delay for Assassin's Creed. Was it like 3 of them in a row almost?
Yeah. Yeah.
Before it released?
You're right.
And in combination, in conjunction with all the other decisions Ubisoft is making, you get disgusted at the idea. Oh, another delay? Fuck y'all.
Right.
Capcom, on the other hand, oh, you guys need some more time to work in your game, but you just delivered us Street Fighter 6 and Monster Hunter. Do you, boo boo? I'm waiting.
Right.
I'm
Right.
waiting. So it's different. It hits way different.
What do you think is worse? A game being released too early or too late?
What's too early? So you say too
Too
early?
early means it
It's not
couldn't.
finished.
Pretty much. You could have used some more time in
And
the
too
oven.
late means you guys kept delaying it, right?
You kept delaying it to the point where there's no longer a hype surrounding the game or no any interest at all surrounding the game. What do you think?
CD Projekt Red released a shitty version of Cyberpunk
That would be considered too early.
too early, and people
Yeah.
hated it. They returned it. A year later, it was.
As good as that game is, though, I still think the game is tainted because of that horrible launch. They fixed the game. Don't get me wrong, but it feels like it's just it's
I don't
always
agree with you there.
no. It's gonna no. What I'm saying is because of that horrible launch, it didn't get the accolades that it was supposed to, and it's just always
in that regard, yes. But if you meet somebody who's played Cyberpunk and you ask them like, "Yo, should I get the game?" Every single person's gonna tell you, "Hell yeah, buy
Yeah.
Cyberpunk."
yes. But what I'm saying is the history of the game is tainted because of that launch.
And especially in the awards
Yeah.
realm, because let me get it straight. Cyberpunk came out, they released, right?
Mm-hmm.
People return it, and it's a bad release. The official release date for all the award ceremonies will use the original release date, not a re-release date, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So Cyberpunk had no chance of getting Game of the Year. I believe,
No,
right?
at all.
Wow, that's actually really interesting to see a game as like majestic as Cyberpunk. You could pretty much guarantee you got snubbed from every kind of award.
Pretty much.
Because-
Pretty much.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, I could see that. So back to your original question, though.
Mm-hmm.
What do I think is worse, a game releasing too early, or there's
Too
two
late.
versions of a game releasing too early.
Mm-hmm.
Version 1 is it's a buggy game,
Right.
and version 2 is a not complete game. I say it's worse to release a game too early.
Yeah, I'd say that too.
I'd say that too.
Because I
I
feel
say
like
that
if a game releases after the hype is dead, I feel like word of mouth, even though you probably won't get like the sales that you were looking for, over time that game is gonna build up a fan base. Like I've seen
Yes.
it time and again where games get released after the hype has kind of like died out for the game, but
Yep.
over time, it's kind of like garnered that kind of like cult status of a game. Perfect
Yeah.
example would be like, I wouldn't say Dante's Inferno per se. I'd say because at the time people were looking at it as just like a God of War clone. So it's probably a bad example. But what I'm saying is over time, people started to accept the game more for its its own thing.
I do know, but in the chat we got some really cool points. Hades said Attack on Titan took too long for our next season, and I still ain't watched it. Now, they had a tsunami, and the studio was destroyed. So it did take them a little bit longer to go from one season to the next.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I, but I have to say, if the product is good, and I think Attack on Titan is an amazing product. When it finally released, I was there day one, minute one. As soon as it hit the website, I was ready to start watching again. Um, but you know, I'm one consumer, and Hades is another consumer. And for the Hades style consumer,
He needs it when he needs it. It's pretty much that's
his
what it is.
attention span. I'm not. This is nothing against his attention span, but his attention span was not satisfied by Attack on Titan, and therefore he lost interest and
Right.
moved on.
Right.
Germ said, "Remember Street Fighter V?" It's funny you say that because I was thinking about Street Fighter V the whole time. I was saying what I was saying about games releasing too early. Street Fighter V releases an incomplete video game.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, Capcom, we give them the benefit of the doubt. They put the work in, and people loved Street Fighter V towards the end of it. I really think it's not black or white. I really think it's the game, the reputation of the game franchise, the reputation of the studio, it all has a huge part to play in it. If you look at Rockstar, it's the reputation of the studio that keeps us ready and willing to wait. If you look at Street Fighter, it's the reputation of the franchise that makes us ready and willing to wait till they get it right. If you look at,
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you look at a game like Cyberpunk, I think when the product released, the game was so good, people were just like, damn, if this wasn't glitchy, I would probably really like this. So they gave it another shot. I don't think every case is black and white, you know, unfortunately.
Right. A lot of the reasons though for those delays are tied behind quality reasons, and even though a lot of times, even when they delay a game, when a game gets released, sometimes it's still shit. Do you think it's like it's more of like a corporate spin most times to just kind of like give them like a time to like step away from like I guess not the limelight, but just like getting that much attention from their game to draw attention from their game.
What about this? What about
What?
this? You're set to release your game in January of 2026. Grand Theft Auto is set to release in January 2025, but then they delay it to January 2026, and now you're all of a sudden competing with GTA 5. What do you think you should do? You think you should stay where you are, or you should delay your game?
I'm delaying my shit.
Either way, you got your answer. Sometimes it's not just the game that forces your hand in delaying.
What do you think this does for developers and their consumer trust?
I think that the market. I don't think. Okay, so consumers are smart, but I think that they weren't smart enough early enough, and I think that the market has signaled to these companies by now that they can pretty much do what they want.
Right.
It's on us. It's really on us. The Stop Killing Gays movement, we need more people who think like that.
Right. Did you sign the petition? I did.
I did.
Yeah. Do you think this is a very serious question because I stopped this years ago. Do you think as gamers we need to stop doing pre-orders?
If the pre-order does not get me something really cool, the last game I pre-ordered was Monster Hunter, and I think I really kind of just did that so I can be with my friends, being like, yo, we all have a pre-order day one, we're ready for it.
Right.
Other than that, I've never really pre-ordered a game, bro.
You want to know what the last game I pre-ordered was?
It's gonna be a PlayStation 2 game. I already know it.
No, it's Dragon Ball Fighter Z. That was the last game I pre-ordered.
That's crazy. That's 6 years ago, bro.
I'll never forget that shit because I was so hyped when I saw that shit, bro.
I love that for you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's just the industry, bro. I hope something happens. There needs to be a multitude of things that happen to start changing the trajectory of the industry, I feel like. Here's a question. Do you think studios are announcing games too early, or should they wait until it's like closer to finish before they announce the game?
That's one thing. That is one thing to avoid everything you just said. get closer to finishing the game before you start telling people about it. I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a big that would solve a lot of issues.
I think so too. I think so
Yeah.
too.
And
I think so too.
it would also alleviate dev time, like development times,
Yes.
timeline, because crunch. No,
Well,
no, it would prevent crunch. I feel like to some degree
it
it would prevent crunch.
crunch will never go away though because no matter what, your bosses are always gonna want you to pump out this game as fast as possible because
Well,
it saves
true.
the company money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're not. It's not like, oh guys, we can chill. They're not doing that. No,
Mm-hmm.
they're not doing that. Yeah,
But yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight's episode.
that was the whole episode.
That was the whole episode. I told you we're gonna
Yo,
be on
Cash,
there.
I really gotta give it to you, bro.
gonna
This
be
show
on it.
flow that you have here is spectacular work.
Oh, that. Oh,
all
thank you,
these
thank you.
questions that all these questions that Cash and I were going through back and forth, the ones that he's asking me, he's already got them pre-written. He has this conversation premeditated in his head. If you look at
Oh,
the
yeah.
show flow,
Not only
it's
that, did you see
crazy.
my checklist? You realize I'm checking them off while we're talking?
I didn't notice that. Wow. Yo, chat. I told you guys, this man's a dweeb. To
Listen,
the utmost
listen.
degree.
I like attention to detail. Okay.
This is okay. Nah, it was great work. It was great work.
Professional. Thank you, Hades. Yes, that's all that is. All right. So Heartless, what time is it?
That's how it was.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, listen up. For those that have not been here before, this is the Gamer Actual Speedrun. This is what we do. I got some headlines here, some video game rumors and stuff. If any of the topics catch Cash's attention, he stops me, we talk about it. If not, we just go on, you know? The first one I'm going to mention is... actually, I'll say that for last. The first one I'm going to mention is... A untitled Donkey Kong film has recently been registered by Universal Pictures and Nintendo.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What would that look
Three,
like? A film? Is it
two.
like? Is it a spin-off? It might be a spin-off
Hear
to
me
the.
out.
It might be a spin-off to the Mario movie.
It's the Mario universe.
So Seth Rogen would be Donkey Kong then.
I think so.
That'd be fire. That'd be fire. I'm not gonna lie. That would be fire. That would be fire.
I
'Cause
agree.
I used
was
to watch.
Actually,
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
really liked the Mario movie. I really
Yeah.
liked it.
I did.
And
I
people
enjoyed
had people had their quarrels with it, but I really enjoyed how I felt like authentic Mario to me.
Yeah,
It
and
looked like Mario.
not only that, they address certain things. So it's a me, a Mario. It was all for commercials, pretty much. It's just like that's the marketing side of Mario. That's what you've been
Yeah,
seeing.
yeah.
So they
Yeah,
found a way
yeah.
to justify Mario speaking the way he does in the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
I
It's
like
great.
that.
I
That was
liked
pretty
it.
good.
I had a lot of fun watching that movie. Next one on the list. Jason Schreier implies that Dragon Quest VII Remake is real, just in a smaller scope. Cash, if you don't have anything to say about this one, I actually want to...
No, but I read Jason Schreier's book recently. It's called Press Reset: Ruin and Recovery in the Games Industry. That's all. That's where I pull some of my resources from to write my video essay that I just posted on YouTube. Go check out that video.
Sweet.
Thank you.
It's funny you say that, Cash, because... oh, snap. I just closed out my internet. What?
You
I
closed
just
out
lost all
your.
my tabs. I just lost all my tabs!
That's why you don't. You can reopen them. You just click and open last closed history and everything comes back.
Oh, wait. Go to history. 62 tabs. Cool, we got it. Woo!
I told you.
Anyways,
Why do you have 62 tabs open, bro?
that's neither here nor there. Listen, so we said you. Oh yeah, I have the link to his video right here. Let me put it up. And then I'm gonna finish talking about this. Ooh, I lost the link too. Oh, chat. Listen, I am absolutely horrible at this. I'll put the link in a second. I just want to say, let's go back to this. Jason Schreier implies Dragon Quest VII Remake is real, just in a smaller scope. I'm going to give you a quote. I think it's safe to say that Square wants to remake as many Dragon Quest games as possible for modern platforms. Doesn't mean all or any of them are going to be a big, ambitious revamp as Final Fantasy VII. What is it? Final Fantasy VII Reborn or something? And then, yeah. So expect to see these games. Actually, it's kind of exciting. I actually want to get into them. And then next on the list, I failed us. I failed us. Um, this is supposed to be a speed run. I'm over here scrolling through the thing because I dropped.
Yeah, you're fine.
Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, Insider Gaming, EA attempted to negotiate a non-exclusive NFL deal for Madden. The NFL rejected it. So this is actually really interesting, and I'll give Cash a second to talk about it if he wants to. But I looked into this, and this is really, really interesting. We were talking earlier about how the games industry, these devs cannot afford to make these games anymore. Look what EA tried to do. They tried to tell the NFL, look, we'll make this game, and we do not want exclusive rights to the NFL anymore. We want to make Madden. You can have other companies make other NFL games. We just want a lower price.
Wow. So it's licensing that's the issue.
They want cheaper licensing, and they're willing to give up exclusivity.
That's one of the reasons.
NFL.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's one of the reasons why people are iffy when it comes to like Marvel products too, because Marvel has to get a cut.
Yeah.
Every product
of
that's
course.
sold, every game that is sold, Marvel has to get a cut. So
Crazy,
yeah.
bro. It's crazy. And this is just another spice in the soup of what I've been saying all night. The video game industry is in shambles. It's in shambles. These companies made games, got successful, brought in investors. These investors have wild expectations. In the public stock realm, if your company is not growing year after year, you're already losing to inflation.
Facts.
So you're in the negative. So they look for growth year after year after year, which means that these companies are always looking for new ways to take your money, to extract more money from the consumer. Always.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and it's really really interesting to see how each company is trying to go about it. To give up exclusive rights on the NFL? Are you serious? It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy. Next one on the list. Oh yeah. Crafton to avoid paying 250. Another way companies are looking to save money. Crafton to avoid paying $250 million bonus to devs by delaying Subnautica 2. Gosh, this is why I asked you if you had Subnautica on your list. You have Subnautica, GTA, and what is it called? Crimson Sun?
At this point, Crimson Desert. At this point, my entire list is just delayed. So it's like
delayed. Oh my, it's
delayed.
Incredible. But I want to click on this. Yeah, it's funny how I'm supposed to be the guy who announces the speed run, and you're supposed to be the guy who decides to talk about it. But I read these and I actually.
But yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. I think that's actually pretty good for you to do that too, though.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because the theme of what I've been noticing while going through the show flow and even putting this part together is like companies are looking like the money, like they're laying people off, adding AI. We'll talk about this one in a second. Laying people off, adding AI, getting rid of game vouchers, and then getting rid of exclusivity for the NFL. Like, how many more signals do we need before we can agree that these companies are 100% looking to restructure the way their money moves?
Right.
But anyways, so it says last week there was a sudden departure of the CEO from Unknown Worlds and being replaced with the Striking Distances Studios, which by the way is a studio that made Callisto Protocol, CEO as the interim CEO. So the CEO from Striking Distance is now the interim CEO of Unknown Worlds, okay? One of the now ousted CEOs then took to social media saying the game was ready and it hurts to be removed from his own studio. He said the game was ready, okay? Then now it's revealed by Jason Schreier, Cash's favorite man on earth, that not only is Crafton delaying the game, but this will also cause the $250 million bonus that was to be paid out to the former CEO, who would then distribute the gains to their dev team.
That's crazy.
This is a whole other level of Cash. You asked earlier about consumer trust in the gaming industry.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind of shit that makes people say, I not want to buy their game.
Yep. Pretty much. Pretty
It's
much.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. And and the last thing I want to talk about, and then I'll answer Jerem's question in a second, is Ken was added, is being added to City of the Wolves, which, by the way, I think is a great game.
I
It
think
kind of
it's
flopped heavily.
yeah.
It needed better marketing. Cristiano Ronaldo did not help.
No, he didn't. I think
But
they should have partially launched with the Street Fighter characters. I feel like the Street Fighter characters should have been a part of their main like lineup.
people are hype about them.
Yeah, they should have. I think that would have helped the game.
I think that they did not need 4 guest characters. I don't think they needed Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think they needed the DJ guy.
You don't need Christian. I hear the DJ guy is actually a pretty good character in the game, but Cristiano
he's a
Ronaldo is
good-
not necessary.
So Salvatore Ganacchi, at first people were like, yo, this is trash. Who is this DJ?
Mm-hmm.
And then they started to accept him. But it still doesn't change the fact that I don't think they needed those 2 guest characters.
No,
I think that
unnecessary.
they should have kept it. They should have kept it in the fighting game world.
Yep.
And Ken looks great.
Ken
I
looks
don't know
like
if,
a mashup of traditional Ken and SF6 Ken.
Yes, and not only that, in City of the Wolves, you can cancel one special move into another special move, right?
Mm-hmm.
It costs meter, but you can do that. You can't necessarily do that in Street Fighter. So in City of the Wolves, if you look at the trailer, you got Ken doing Jinrai kick, special canceled into a Hadouken, special
Hadouken.
canceled into a Tatsu.
Yep, I saw all
So
that. Shit.
I don't know. He looks really sick. I gotta say, he looks really
He
sick.
might
I don't
be
know
a
how I feel
problem.
about the beard, but he looks really sick.
I you know what it is too, bro. I feel like the more I see City of the Wolves, not that it's a bad game, but there's something about the game, the movement of the game that I don't like anymore.
No, I'm telling you, mechanics wise and gameplay wise, the game, the graphics wise, I don't really care for it too much.
That's what I
mechanics-wise
think.
and
That's what it
gameplay-wise,
is. I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's the
it could
graphic
be.
that messes with me.
It was a turnoff for me. I chose to.
And I know it's a big talking point. Heartless is muted. Is it me? Heartless, I think you're muted. Heartless, can you hear me? Chat, can you hear Heartless? Or is it just me? Because I think Heartless is muted. Yeah, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Nope. Yep, I hear you now.
Oh, what happened? I wonder what happened.
I have no idea. I have no
Wait,
idea.
you stopped hearing me?
Yeah, I stopped hearing you altogether.
Was there any audio cracking or anything like that?
No cracking whatsoever. You just went poof.
Okay. I forgot what I was talking about. As long as everyone's cool, I'm cool.
The City of the Wolves. We were talking about City of the Wolves.
I was just
How
saying.
how the game
Oh yeah,
looked.
graphics wise, I didn't really care for it, but I overlooked it to try out the game. And mechanics wise, and gameplay wise, I actually really enjoyed the game. I think the game flopped. It did flop, but I think it's a really
It
cool
did.
game.
It did flop big time. This game flopped heavy. Hopefully it goes on sale soon. That's when I'm gonna get it. I don't think I'm gonna spend full price for it. I'm sorry.
Nah, I don't think you should either. I don't think you should either, for sure.
But chat, is there anything else before we cut out Heartless? And my camera's starting to move like shit now. Yeah, it's about that
Oh,
time for us
really?
to. Yeah, it's about that time for us to start wrapping up. It's
I just noticed it. Wow, that's hilarious. Is there anything before we get out of here? I just want to say thank you to everyone. As you guys know, we have this we have a reoccurring set of viewers that always keep Cash and I engaged. And shout out to everyone that came through. Shout out to Ryoko-san for the raid. Everyone that hung out with us. Reaper, you're here every week. Katie's here every week. But you guys bring so much to the table. At this point, it's the Gamer Actual featuring the chat.
the featuring
And I
the
love it.
chat. Yeah, that's
I
a
love
big
it.
chat.
Make sure you guys go check out Cash's video. Make sure you drop that subscription.
Please,
Like,
please, please.
yeah, please.
Thank
All the
you.
support. It really helps. And much love to everyone.
Oh, check out the merch store, by the way, too, guys. If you don't like the merch store, send us feedback. If you feel like, yo, you want to see more stuff or different particular items in the store, send us a message, y'all. We got y'all. Just let us know what y'all want to see. We got y'all. But yeah, that's
CJ,
it for today.
your camera going off, man.
Yeah, it's going crazy. We have a question of the week. We're about to post it right now, as a matter of fact, before I forget. So here's the question of the week, guys. How do you feel about major game delays like GTA 6 pushing back release dates? And there's options here. It says delays are okay if they improve quality. Delays kill the hype and excitement. I'm used to delays and just wait patiently. Studios announce dates too early anyways. So those are the four options that we have. We're gonna post
Those
it.
are 4 great options.
Yes. Let me just show. Wait. What? Oh, God damn it.
Y'all see Bitcoin, by the way? Woo!
This man. This man.
Bro, I've been buying Bitcoin for the last 5 years. Everyone in my social circle, including my family, told me I was crazy, and now it's $122,000 a coin.
Damn.
This is not a crypto podcast. I do not endorse, and this is not financial advice. I just like Bitcoin.
I was about to say that too. I'm glad you did that.
I just like Bitcoin. That's it. And I'm excited that I'm watching my Bitcoin stash grow. That's it.
All right. So these are the options. We're putting them in here. I have them in notes already, so I could just post them. Chat. Make sure you head on over there and thing, because we've been kind of neglecting our poll. So that doesn't sound right.
Pause. Yo.
Yo.
That's crazy.
I was like, yo, that does not sound right, boy.
And when you say polls singular, it makes it even worse. It would have been better if you were like, yo, we're just neglecting our polls.
Oh my gosh. There we go. I posted it. It's now live, Jack. Please go answer that. Your engagement
please put the link in
matters.
the chat.
Yeah,
Please
your
put the link in
engagement
the chat.
your engagement matters. It really does.
It's crazy.
Y'all make this fun every time, bro. I swear. Cash is an AI confirmed. Germ, listen. That's pretty much it. Anything else before we dip our Heartless?
Obviously, you gotta let them know. It's your boy Heartless, the KXI sex symbol. You can find me on OnlyFans. Just kidding. The Heartless _99 on Twitch. Catch me playing some Street Fighter. Cash. Thanks for everything, of course.
All right, guys, and that's it for tonight's episode. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure you give it a like on YouTube or on your favorite podcast platform of choice. Give it 5 stars. Let them know that you love the goddamn show. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, thank you guys. Shout outs to our actual gamers. It's been your boy Cash. This is the Heartless. This is Gamer Actual episode 60. We out here. Peace. All right, Heartless. Who are we gonna rate out to?
I was already looking. That's funny you say that. I don't see Foot Slap. I don't see anyone else that's our friend online. So let's just do Foot Slap.
I want to start looking at other podcasts, but I think we are probably the only podcasts that are live at this time.
Maybe, yeah, for sure. And we also need to start. Which, by the way, chat. If you're here, please stick around for the raid, so we can send that love to somebody.
Please.
We also need to start rating people that we don't know, and you know how we like do this thing where we like to rate people who have less viewers than us, so that we kind of spread the love.
Right.
Every once in a while, we got to find somebody who's got more viewers than us. Somebody who's who's gonna give us a shout out and say, "Yo, drop a follow for these guys."
Agreed. Yo, you want to hear something crazy? I'm at 888 followers on Twitch.
God damn.
888, bro. Is that a lucky number? Is that a good number?
No, it's not.
You're lying.
It's just as bad as 666.
That's a lie. Yeah, I think that's fine. Foot slap. We have Keats. Yeah, we're gonna rate out. Wait, I don't see Foot Slap.
He's playing Marvel Rivals.
All right, cool. We gonna rate out the Foot Slap Black. All right, chat. We going over the Foot Slap. Telling the boys from KXI sent you. Much love, much appreciation. Raid. Foot Slap. Wait, what? He doesn't exist. You are lying. I just spelled his name correctly. There you go. I did the same thing just now. Twitch, you're lying. Twitch, you were lying. Why you always lying? Yeah. Yo, chat. Catch y'all later.
Peace out, fam.
Yeah. Stream ended, so we can talk shit now. Bro, we're getting better.
I had to put he's loud as fuck. I had to lower it a little bit.
Yo, we're getting better, dog. Like, and I think the notes really helped tonight too.
Bro, I at one point I kind of caught on.
Honestly,
I was
bro,
like,
I think
this
it was
motherfucker has he has these questions lined up.
Yep.
Nah, that shit was great. That
Yeah,
shit was fucking great, bro.
The questions makes it so much like, yeah. So I'm gonna start doing this every week. I can't.
So what was like 5 questions? Yo, it was just really interesting. Always kept the conversations going.
Yep. He's just like, I glimpsed over it and I was like, all right, I'll start with this one, and then I'll move on. And because I set them in a way where it feels like they're flowing.
The whole show felt like it was flowing. But
Yeah.
then at one point though, I felt like I was getting interviewed.
Because I'm asking questions. That's why.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong, but like, maybe like there'll be a question. You can put a question that you want me to ask you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we can do that. We could do that. I think this was I was also in the mind frame of us having like multiple guests too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We need to get some guests.
Next week we're gonna go over our list. So I'm gonna see if I can get Trez on here. Yeah. Oh, Phoenix is in the game already. I didn't realize Phoenix came out already.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is that Captain America? Yo,
so.
it is, and he's dressed like Agent fucking Venom, bro.
Yeah.
So what are they gonna do when Agent Venom comes to the game? Like, you know what I mean?
Bro, you know Asmongold became the world's most watched streamer?
I'm not surprised.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But you know what? I also, because I always wonder like how these guys blow up, but then we forget that these guys were actually doing this shit for a long fucking time. Asmongold was big in what's that what was that game called again? He plays a specific game. It's like one of those freaking almost like World of Warcraft games. It's League of Legends. He played League of Legends, bro. And that's how he became popular. And then he started streaming.
Yeah, that is how he became popular.
So that was his claim to fame. But then he parlayed that into something else.
You know people blame him for his mom dying?
How?
Because she was fat and sick and old, and he would buy her cigarettes and stuff, and people were like, you're the reason your mom died. And trust me, my mom smoked cigarettes, and I spent my whole childhood begging her to stop. People
But that's
don't
not.
quit.
Yeah, that's not her. That's not my responsibility, bro. Like, what do you think's gonna happen if I don't go out there and buy it? What do you think she's not gonna find another way to fucking buy it?
And then what? I'm gonna spend the last years of my mom's life with her just resenting me all the time. Like we don't have a
Right,
relationship. Like
right. Bro, people, everybody has their vices, and that no matter how hard you try, you cannot convince somebody to do something that they don't want to do for themselves.
exactly, bro.
That's all it comes down to. If they don't want to do it, you can't convince them to. Oh fuck, Blaze was live, bro. Blaze Inferno.
I didn't notice that. We should have rated Blaze, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Blaze is live, bro. I'm gonna start looking for people, bro. We need to start looking for people in kind of like, what do you think our niche is? That's the other thing. We need to start looking at people that are our niche. The fuck? He just shouted us out, and fucking Jay came up.
You'd love to see it. That Captain America skin kind of sick.
It is. It's Agent Venom, bro. You don't know Agent Venom?
No.
What do you know about comic books? What do you know about Spider-Man?
Uh,
You know his bully, Flash Thompson.
yeah.
He became an
The
army
Indian guy?
veteran.
He's actually not Indian. I don't
He's
know why
not-
they picked an Indian guy.
He's not Indian in the comic books.
I don't know why they picked the motherfucker.
Flash Thompson's a jock in the comic books.
Yeah, I know. He's like the Tobey Maguire Flash Thompson.
Right. And he became an army veteran, and he lost his legs in the Iraq war, right? And the government approached him like, yo, we want you to be a part, because he was kind of like a
Bro,
decorated
what is
soldier.
the likelihood? This makes no sense to me.
Well,
You talking about Flash Thompson?
yeah, Flash Thompson.
Or is it Flash Gordon or Flash Thompson?
Flash Thompson, Spider-Man's fucking
Yeah,
bully.
yeah. So that makes no sense to me. What is the
Yeah.
likelihood that Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man, and then
right,
and
he
then
becomes a
his
military
bully
agent.
loses his legs and becomes a fucking... That makes no sense to me.
No,
Makes
it's
like-
so it's it was a part of like a government thing, but I know what you mean.
Like, what are the odds that...
What are the odds? Yeah, it's always
you know
some
what I'm saying?
bullshit. Yeah, but
There's always
that's
some
comic books in general. It doesn't make fucking sense.
I know. I'm a piece of shit.
No. But I question that shit all the time too. If I'm gonna write a story, it should feel natural. Like everything that's
It should feel
happening
believable. I agree.
Right.
I agree.
I had this crazy idea today too, right? I want to create a bunch of different characters in Blender, but it's just they're like puppets, and then I can make comic books with them. So instead of me drawing a panel every single time, I just put those characters in like specific poses in Blender and make those frames.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have some fucking asshole telling you your comic's trash because you didn't pay artists to do it for you.
I don't give a fuck. They do that with animation, don't they? They
I
do
know.
that with
Yeah, that's exactly
Disney and
what they do.
Pixar. They rig those
Yo,
shits.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. People actually use Blender all the time to make comics. All the time.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
no, but
they
how
do.
I wonder if they do it like how I'm thinking about
No,
using
they
it.
do it with landscapes.
Ah.
They'll literally will create, and I've seen this happen with like cities. You know how like they'll have like massive cities inside of a panel, in a comic book panel?
Yeah.
Somebody will just create 3D buildings, layer them so it looks like a city, right? Like a vast city.
All right.
And then they will literally remove all the 3D elements of it, make it black and white, whatever the fuck they do, and it looks just like a comic.
Like a
And then they'll
comic.
make that the background of the panel.
Yeah, I've seen that because I was watching a video last night, and this dude in Blender made a 60s Spider-Man cartoon, bro,
Yeah.
with 3D characters, but they all
Yeah.
look 2D.
Yeah.
And you know how usually when 60s cartoons, when if like a particular part of the body moves, like his hand, it has almost like a different color than the rest of the body. He did that too intentionally, just to make it feel like that 60s cartoon. I was like, yo, this shit is creative as fuck.
Yeah. I think Blender's a really cool piece of software.
Yeah, it's a lot of devs use it, bro. I wanna and he did that shit in DaVinci, bro. He made his rig and then ported it over in DaVinci, and I'm like, yo, how the fuck did you do that? I didn't know DaVinci could do that shit.
Bro, yeah, I can. It's absolutely. But yeah, that's the shit that people go to school for, bro. It's like that level of excellence within not only just the software, but understanding how the software works and like how it works with other softwares, and that's like the next level.
Oh yeah. Good shit tonight, bro. It was a good fucking show. And our presentation was fire tonight too.